The Saints currently sitting in 11th position with a 9-9 record. Today looking for win number 10 against the Blues. They did get hold of the Blues back in round 12, we should remember, to the tune of 32 points on that occasion. Good afternoon and welcome one and all to the MCG. It's the Saints and the Blues. A perfect winter's day, beautiful conditions for the players, and a big afternoon ahead of us. Straight off the bat today, the coach of the St.Kilda Football Club, Alan Richardson. Richo, thanks for your time, appreciate it.
Good to be here, Joe.
9 wins on the board, this could be number 10. What number would you have taken when the season started?
We didn't really focus on how many wins, Josh. We just want to play strong, consistent footy. We think our best footy's better. There's a bit of a gap between our best and our worst, but the last month has been heading the right way, and today's another opportunity.
I knew you wouldn't talk about a number. Hey, 4 weeks to go, so you got Carlton today, Sydney at Etihad, also Richmond and the Brisbane Lions. You win all 4, that's 13 wins. Still a mathematical proposition for the finals.
Yeah, but we'll focus on today, Josh. We know that Carlton have been in really good form. They haven't won, but they've played really strong footy against top 4 teams in recent weeks. They haven't won for a while, but they'll be looking for victory, and we know we're going to need to be at our best to even be in the game, let alone win the game.
Well, let's hope you can chalk up win number 10 today. Appreciate your time, mate. Good luck.
Good on you, Josh. Thanks, mate.
It's also a very special and extremely emotional day for Blues star Andrew Walker. He chalks up game number 202 and his last in a 13-year career that at times has been nothing short of spectacular. He spoke about it earlier in the week.
Like I said to the boys yesterday, it's been incredible 13 years of my life. In those 13 years, I've had some amazing years. I've had a few downs with a few injuries, which is probably the reason why I'm sitting up here today. Due to a few more injuries, I just can't do my job anymore, and just finding it really hard to get up every week.
Walker's got to sit here.
After I marked it, I remember going back and having to have the shot, and it's just unfortunate the screen was right behind the goal, so I got to watch it back about 3 or 4 times, and I'm pretty happy with myself.
Oh boy!
It was a cracker. It was a solid mark. Mine was better, but it wasn't.
Unbelievable! It's just that has to be the best for the year, doesn't it, Tim?
They were 2 wonderful grabs, and he's been a wonderful player since coming down from Echuca in 2004. And there is Andrew Walker with his children, Cody, Ali and Letty, running through the banner for the final time. 202 games, he's kicked 139 goals, and he's been a wonderful player, Eddie Maguire, for the club.
Sandy's been a wonderful player, as you saw there. 1AW, which was the nickname given to him by Rex Hunt. Tony, you're a 3AW man, but 1AW, a great nickname. 1 Andrew Walker, wearing the number 1, of course. And he's a wonderful player. He always played the game as we love it. He's attacking, great skills, early draft pick. Came to Carlton at a time where many times through his career he could have gone to other clubs. There's no doubt there's been plenty of clubs who would love to have Andrew Walker, but he's a dyed-in-the-wool Blues man. Congratulations to him on a wonderful day. 202 games, 139 goals.
He's had a lot of injuries too, but they say that he's fantastic in the way he prepares, and he's won the respect of the whole Carlton Football Club. So well done, congratulations. A big decision and a sad time for any footballer to make, Ed.
There he is, ready to go. Mixed feelings today, a big match against the Saints, but it must be a wonderful feeling as well, Tony, to know this is the end of the road for him. He's made his decision. He goes out on his own terms rather than waiting to find out whether he get a contract over the next 3 weeks, which so many players are going through at the moment. So good luck, Andrew Walker. An ornament to the game, to AFL and to the Carlton Football Club. David King is our man on the boundary line. He is ready to go with the coach of the Carlton Football Club, Brendan Bolton.
Brendan, thanks for your time. There's been a 6 or 7 week patch where you haven't got the wins, but there's been a lot to like about what you've been doing, particularly defensively.
Yeah, we're working really hard defensively, but I've said a number of times now, our growth is to evolve into a team that can hurt on the scoreboard.
And that hasn't quite come yet. What have you done today to try and spark that?
Oh, listen, there's a lot that you've got to get right. It's about decisions with the footy and our system in front of it, so we're working on it.
Andrew Walker's been a major part of this football club for as long as I can remember. Today's the final curtain. What's he meant to you guys internally?
Oh, well, I've only known him for a short period of his career, but, gee, his benchmarking in terms of how to prepare off the field is just elite, and the first Indigenous player to play 200 for our club. Pretty special moment.
What do you need to get right today against the Saints?
Well, they touched us up at stoppages last time, so that's an important battle.
Good luck, mate.
Thanks, King. Cheers.
David King with Brendan Bolton. Both Brendan Bolton, the coach of Carlton, and St Kilda's Alan Richardson, not giving too much away in the pre-match. They've got their game faces on. Two teams on the rise. Two teams starved of success in recent times. Two teams full of absolute superstars, ready to go on the home of big-time football, the MCG. When we return, it's Carlton and St Kilda at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Welcome back to a beautiful day at the MCG. The sun is shining, no wind as, in fact, there's very little wind at all. It's just perfect conditions. On a Sunday afternoon, the Saints are ready. They're going through their last warm-ups in formation at the centre-half forward position at the city end of the ground. Carlton just going through their final warm-ups now, ready to go. As we mentioned, Andrew Walker in his final game after 201 games at the Carlton Football Club. Great defender. He also won the goal kicking for the Blues along the way. Spirit of Carlton Award winner, #2 draft pick in 2003. He's had a celebrated and decorated career. So too this man, Nick Revolt, who must have wondered whether or not there'd be time for a regeneration of his St Kilda Football Club. And to his credit, and those at the St Kilda Footy Club, they're on the rise again, the Saints. Still a sneaky outside, probably 100-1 chance to make the finals, but mathematically it's there. In the meantime, it's Kate Simpson who wins the toss and will kick to the city end of the MCG. Jason Dunstall, Tony Shaw, ready to go. The bells are tolling, and David King is boundary side with all the latest information.
Perfect day for football down here, Ed. Sun's out, absolutely not a breath of air in the stadium at the moment. When we have a look at what's important today, Carlton were absolutely hammered by the Saints at stoppages way back in round 12. You can see there to the tune of 6 goals, the highest return from St Kilda for the season. This has been a success indicator for the Saints across the journey. You can see when they're beaten at scores from clearances, they've generally lost those games. So today, Carlton have got a single focus, and that's to get their hands on the ball. Get it before Jack Stephen, get it before David Armitage, and see if they can rove the hit-out work of big Tom Hickey.
Well, looking forward to seeing all that unfold in front of us. Tony Shaw and Jason Dunstall, your thoughts as we're counting down to the opening bounce?
Well, a big day for that man we just saw on screen, Andrew Walker. Interesting, he obviously didn't want to toss the coin, Shorey, because you would have been given that privilege, surely, in your last game.
You hope so. You just go and do it and get a nice photo in the paper, Jason. I just find every time St Kilda play with this manic pressure that they just keep at the ball carrier, they play really good football and they can win and beat anybody, but they drop off quickly and it can be disappointing. And it's already on at centre-half forward.
Yeah, a bit of emotion. Look, we've got two teams on the improve, both trying to turn things around and head up to the top part of the table. It's only the second game at the G for the Saints this year.
And Sandy Roberts calls the action.
Good on you, Ed. Looking forward to this one. Two sides on the rise, and here's the opening bounce. Hickey's been in very good form. He's too good for Phillips on that occasion, but Cripps has been brilliant. He gives it across to Gibbs, who's had a wonderful second half of the season. They go down towards Cruiser. Couldn't complete the mark. Jaron Geary goes through strongly. Gilbert is there as well. Pushed towards the boundary line, and eventually it's taken over with Joey Montagna and Blake Acres for a throw-in.
Does an amazing job, Shawnee Dempster. He's playing on Matty Cruiser, who has started deep forward, gives away so much height.
Throw in, a little shallow initially, pushed towards Bruce, who's a long way from home. Gibbs couldn't take it cleanly, was taken to ground. Dunstan should be free kicked for a high tackle, and he will be.
Wiedering looks like he's got the job on Bruce.
It's been good, Dunstan, and to another brilliant midfielder in Jack Stephen. Goes towards Geary, who gives it back to Jackie Boy. He goes laterally. The Saints making the switch and looking once again to come back towards Geary. Montagna's calling for it. He may go longer. In fact, he does towards Billings. Takes the mark now. Plays on once again. This is Armitage. Little left foot chip to Rewald. Saints looking to go inside 50 for the first time, but he gives it back to Montagna. Deft little flick. It's going to be okay in the end. It was an interesting kick by Acres. He gets it back, it ricochets away to him. He can't get clear. Taken to ground. Tackling is fierce by Carlton. Look at them pounce on that ball. It's going nowhere. We've got a stoppage just inside the Saints 50.
So many players not comfortable on their opposite foot. Blake Acres, one of those.
Yeah.
Did not look good on the left.
Just had absolutely no chance of getting round on the right. So here it is. Hurried kick is taken by Kerridge. Not a lot of distance in it. Armfield held by the arm. Gets a kick out towards the wing, and the mark taken by Chips Fisher.
So Fisher brings the ball into the centre of the MCG. It was a beautiful kick. The switch is on. And for St Kilda, Dempster goes wider still out to Roberton. Roberton over the head of his intended target there in Membry, close to the boundary line. Simpson, such a steady player. Links up with the yellow boots. Bryce Gibbs to Cripps. Cripps further afield. Carlton are building. The lead is on up forward. Nice kick. Casbolt marks. 60 metres out is a thumping kick, but he doesn't want to go long. He's got Cruiser, but it's 2-on-1, so he decides to, try to get it to centre half forward. He might have wobbled it through. Buckley gets pushed in the back. Play on, says the umpire. Dunson tries to just slap it on. Picked up by Wiedering now for Carlton. Looks up, not much on, so he retreats and finds his teammate there in Doherty.
Doherty's been good. He gives it to Tui. Tui back to Kerridge, who's on centre wing. Blues, he was looking for Gibbs, but again, the disposal was ineffective. And the advantage is going to be paid. So Gresham is away. He goes long. They're inside 50 once again, and a good strong mark taken by Mav Weller.
He's been a good player, Sandy, this year as a defensive small forward, but he has become a goal kicker too. That was a strong mark overhead. That's the first time that you saw St Kilda. They've had chances to kick the ball in deep into their forward 50, and they haven't had the faith on a one-on-one, but that was a fantastic mark.
One of 10 Sainters to have played every game this year. And as you said, sure, he's a goal kicker. He's got 22 to his name, and this would be a dream start for him. Showed plenty of aggro prior to the bounce. The drop punt is on its way, and he's made no mistake. What a start for Mav Weller and St Kilda.
Had plenty of options going forward. They had Membry out to the right, but I like the long direct kick. And as you said, Shorey, Mav Weller's really found his niche up forward. He does give terrific defensive pressure, but he's found a way to have a positive impact on the scoreboard. So good push, everyone pushing up the ground, leaving the 50-metre arc open and then hunting back as the ball came in. And a very, very capable player, Mav Weller, finishes well.
To tell you what, Sam Rowe wouldn't want to see that tape of that defensive work. To allow him to come back into the corridor, I know he's smaller, you've got to keep pushing the player out. If he comes, you bump him and then run back, but he had to protect the corridor better than that.
As Jason Dunstall said there, St Kilda probably had 2, maybe 3 avenues forward on that occasion, and they used the most efficient one of them. Seb Ross goes off the ground. Cade Simpson gets a awkward bounce. Phillips with a handball to Tui. Tui's handball further afield. Oops, as Graham does well. Out it comes Dylan Buckley. Buckley looking, dropping, gone. And Geary will take the free kick. A little bit of push and shoving going off behind the scenes there.
Armitage and Cripps.
Yeah, so Cripps getting some early attention. The kick comes out from Geary again, out to the outer side of the ground. And the mark has been taken by Nunes. Kicks to a one-on-one. Does well. Billings got the handball working.
Billings
just got it away.
It took a long time.
Montagna. Billings is in a lot of trouble this time. Umpire searching and looking and wants to give it and does. Free kick to Carlton and away go the Blues.
starting to run, looking in towards the middle, and Cade Simpson was a good kick, and he took it nicely. Simpson just a proper little hand pass to Curnow, who's still 80 metres from home. He wanted to go short to Armfield, but it was smothered. Now the rebound and a chance for the Saints to come through the middle. This is Seb Ross, who's had a sensational year for the Saints. He can go short to Stephen. Stephen can run in and kick the goal or go over the top. He chooses to take the kick, and that was probably the wrong option because it's now Rowe who gives it away to Doherty, and for the moment they're out of trouble. This is right towards the half-back line. Good tight opening. Simpson, the opportunist in the middle.
That's a huge let-off. They made a complete hash of that, Jack Stevens.
Yeah, he did, I'm afraid. He's had a wonderful year, but we won't want to remember that one.
Aren't we seeing some scrappy skills early? We've seen this the last couple of weeks.
Cripps was in that. And now an opportunity for Carlton once again. Armfield. Speaking of scrappy, my hat. Fisher on the last line of defence.
Now, Jason, I don't think he intended that to be a dribble kick.
Goes down the line, but to whom? That is the question. Carlton had the numbers, but they're not going to come away with the ball. Montagna has it at half back.
So let's see if Joey Montagna can find a little bit of skill here. He is a beautiful player, and the kick is up towards Revolt. He couldn't quite hold it, got one for the top of the arms. No, umpire says throw it in.
Well, it wasn't pretty, was it, the last 3 minutes of football?
Maybe just getting a few words from Alan Richardson to say, take your time, you had options. We can't waste opportunities like that.
Jace, your priority would be to go back and take the kick from 35?
Well,
set shot.
I had no problem with him playing on it because there was so much space and they actually had more forwards than they had defenders.
So Billings now has the option to look
Take
up.
it off.
He can go the whole way. There's no one home. This will bounce through if it's straight, and it's not. He hooked it to the right-hand side and threw for a behind.
Tell you what they do have, a very open forward line at the moment, St Kilda. If they can just sharpen up a few of their skills, there are goals aplenty coming.
Jace, the lateral ball movement the Saints is causing Carlton some problems, particularly through the middle of the ground. They're getting free players on what we know as the fat side.
David King on the boundary line. Graham's kick was okay, but now Carlton's got a problem.
And an answer.
So they're going to get away with it. Up towards centre wing. Casbolt's a long way from home. They need him firing today, the big man. Gets the hand pass away. They look in towards the middle. Plowman is there. He gets a bad bounce, so he just spikes it forward to Buckley. Inside 50, past Cruiser towards Gibbs. He needs a kind bounce. Savage is right there with him. Around the body, there's the kick. It's high, but it's going to go into the square and be marked by Fisher. Chips Fisher on the last line of defence. Will he go towards Weller? He does, and that's somewhat dangerous. He's got to beat a couple, and Tui is the man who takes the mark.
And you can go the distance here if he takes it on. He's normally a very long kick.
That's a strange option, Shaw.
Was it?
Matt
What?
Weller's a small, and he was 1 against 2.
And he kicked it with height. Like, if you can hit it on the chest as a low pass, it's okay. But coming out of defence, get it outside 50 at least.
It was strange because he had a bit of height in Josh Bruce, probably 10 metres further on. So let's see what Zach Tui can do. Just 3 goals to his name for the season. Kicking from 52 metres. That's a good kick off the boot. That's an excellent strike. And Zach Tui answers for Carlton. They're down by a point.
Well, we heard Brendan Bolton talk about decision-making process from Carlton, normally going inside their 50 because they've been a very poor side from the retention inside 50, but you'd have to ask the question. I think it was Sammy Fisher wanted to kick that ball. Just a 2-on-1. Normally you just got to keep possession, kick a short, try and get over the line. But Zach Tui, that's one thing he's always had, the penetration with his kick.
That's 2 poor kicks out of defence from Sam Fisher. One the other side that should have been marked by Boker, so just needs to tidy that up.
Jack Silvani runs onto the ground for his first spell in the forward line for the afternoon. Back in the centre, it's a point the difference.
How often do you see that, the goal kicker on the bench?
Another bounce. Oh. The umpires hate that when the ruckman just smashes it away.
Who copped the frown early? Maxie Gorn, didn't he, when he did it?
As if they need any further attention to the fact they just mucked up the ball up.
You would have played a lot longer too, Chase, if you went to the bench every time you kicked a goal. Well, you had a lot more rest. You would have played for 30 years.
Would have been on there non-stop.
Oh.
Yeah, the high tackle was called and Dunstan's got it. So Dunstan comes out wide. Nice kick. Gresham, who is a thumping kick of the ball. Revolt leads up the centre of the ground. That's where he wants to go. It didn't matter because it was intercepted. And this time Billings can go back and have a kick from 50 metres by the time he takes his shot.
Yeah, I think you called it well, Ed. He was looking for the lead of Revolt. That was the channel that he was honouring, but there were players just coming across from both sides in actual fact. He was third in line, Nick Revolt.
So Billings has kicked 32 career goals in his... This is game number 39 for him. And in fact, it was Jack Nunes. My apologies there. Jack Nunes taking the shot. He's missed a lot. So Nunes has got 15 goals from 87 games and doesn't add to it at this stage.
Oh, this is dangerous.
Wiedering gets it out and Carlton just shin it forward, but it's Almost intercepted by Hickey. Now Gilbert gets the handball going. Chance for the Saints here. Armitage with the don't argue. Gets the handball working. Robertson goes wider still. It's going to come off, will it? Yes.
And it couldn't have landed in better hands than Tim Membry. It was one of their best set shots. He just struck the wrong part of the ball, Dylan Robertson. He was trying to kick it around the corner. Needed to hit the right-hand end of the ball to get it to go right to left. He hit the left-hand ball and it went left to right.
I want to see if the stats man puts that down as a score assist.
And an effective kick.
Well, Membry kicked 5-1 and had 10 marks against Carlton in round 12, so he likes playing the Blues. It's a big kick. Coming in. Plenty of goal open for him from 48 metres out. Just caresses it straight through the middle for St Kilda's second.
He is a beautiful kick of the footy, Tim Membry. And as soon as that ball started to head towards him, you probably thought the Saints fans were breathing a sign of relief. It's a matter of getting the ball in the hands of the players that can kick it best. And he is their sharpest shooter.
I think one thing, David King's picked it up. They are unable to defend when St Kilda have got the ball in the middle of the ground. They're getting inside 50 too easy. You've got to put a lot more pressure on that because they've had so many options that they've messed it up a few times, St Kilda, but even that, they had 3 options at the end of that kick.
So back in the middle after Membry gets his 35th goal for the season. It's been a good foil up forward. Cruiser having a run on the ball with Bruce. Curnow, a short kick, and once again the St Kilda defence hoping to stand firm, although Dempster's got a problem now. His tackle was good. Akers gets the hand pass out. Gilbert takes it now, gives it away towards right, and they're away. Montagna through half forward, spearing the pass to Armo. He thought about it only for a fraction of a second, then held the ball up. Said, no, I'm going to go back and take the kick from probably 47 metres on an angle that shouldn't prove too severe for him.
Well, there's another example, Sandy. They had options inside 50.
Yeah.
The midfielders of the Blues are either not pushing back hard once they lose possession of the ball. They just got to change that around or even get a couple of numbers behind.
Game number 147 for David Armitage. Been a wonderful player. The left foot drop punt is on its way and the goal umpire just sees it sail straight over the top of his head. Armitage gets his first and the Saints have got their third.
Early signs fantastic for the Saints. You see David Armitage, number 20 there, almost in the centre circle with his arms raised up. So he's all on his own, pushing ahead of the footy. And if there's no pressure on the player delivering the ball, they'll get cut open here, the Blues, because there are options everywhere going forward in an open forward line.
Shorey, they're really working that corridor, aren't they?
Yep. Yeah, look, it's David King picked it up very early. You know, they're taking the ball out wide, then bringing it back into the corridor, and they're not shifting well as a team, Carlton. They're not playing good team defence behind play, one line, that you can cover all those spots.
So Hickey up against Phillips in the ruck. Hickey gets the knock down to no one in particular, but it's going their way. Picked up by Curnow, though. Good kick around the body. Pushed underneath it was Silvani. Did well, held his position, held the ball, taken the ground, and will get the ball up at half-forward flank. Good work. So Hickey pushing Curnow out of the way. Phillips goes in, gets the tap. Picked up by Akers, has been doing well. Seb Ross, good hands. Montagna kicks it to the wing position. Good mark. So almost a chance to give up the 50 there as well. It goes wide to Montagna, little chip kick. He's been an excellent link man, Lee Montagna, and he is again to Akers at half-forward flank. Here they go again to the corridor. Nunes from behind, doesn't matter. At the front was the other player in Billings, who lines up now from 40 metres out directly in front, and Jason is one of the greatest goal kickers of all time. This is where you want to be taking your marks.
It's a good kick into the corridor, but Zach Tui won't like looking at the replay because that's his man. He lets him go. And he just stays down while Billings goes up. This could open right up if they can't start putting a bit of pressure on the Blues.
So to make it 3 in a row and 4-1 in the quarter so far, and it's a good-looking kick. It's another beauty. They're taking their kicks from position 1A in goal kicking and making them count.
Well, I'll tell you what, one player they've got to try and control is Lee Montagna. He's had 7 possessions so far. Akers has had 8 coming off halfback. But one thing about Lee Montagna, he's already set up 2 goals. His vision ahead of the ball. He knows how to see sideways to know if someone's free. And that's what he does so well. He's done it all his career. But I'm with Jace. There's just not enough pressure in the middle of the ground. I think they're throwing a player behind the play here now. The Blues on the back of the square. I think they have only done that just to stem the tide.
Well, 8-3 the inside 50, Sandy.
And if one Jack doesn't get you, another one will at St Kilda. Billings with his first. Nunes in the thick of things. Jack Stephen as well. Hickey charging. Phillips got a hand to it. Jack Stephen takes it out of the middle. Up towards half forward. A big spoil and ricochets back to Phillips. They need a couple of goals badly if they're going to stay in this game. Simpson towards centre wing. Taken there by Wright. Ineffective, however. The Saints with numbers go surging forward. Here they go again. Ross. Should be a free kick against Cripps, and it will be. It's going to come back to Armitage. No, the advantage is paid, so Akers takes it, spears the pass, it's a beauty. Weller takes the mark. Mav Weller to kick from probably 53 metres. Already has 1.
If this continues, Chase, I think the back 6 of Carlton are entitled to walk into the midfield and ask for some sort of response.
Let's see if he can get his second. And St Kilda's 5th. Drop punt is on its way. It's a pretty good-looking kick, but just going across the face. Phillips gets a fist to it and concedes 1 behind.
No doubt there'll be some questions asked, Kingy, because they are strolling through the middle of the ground under no pressure, and they are going to pick apart this Carlton defence very easily unless things change.
So Simpson plays on. A little handball over the top to Wiedering. Oh, they're in trouble. They've zoned up well here, the Saints. And that's a big win for the St Kilda forward line. They've kept it in the forward 50 for a throw-in. Daisy and Weller. Weller's causing a fair bit of angst out there today, both with his aggression and also his play. Throw in on the forward 50. Hickey gets front spot, taps it down. Picked up by Curnow for the Blues, though. Kicks up towards the wing position. Big thump away from Robertson. Goes high up in the air. The Saints, again, though, have 3 players under the ball. They run beautifully to the contest. The kick is a high up and under. Was a touch? No, the umpire said, pay the mark. And Dale Thomas will do it at half-back flank for the Blues.
Got to get a switch here, Carlton. Try and break through the lines.
Well, he does. Coming right across the ground. Wiedering from the back pocket. Now let's see if they can start something here. The kick was meant for Plowman. It was ordinary, put him under pressure, but he did well to get it back and get a touch. Buckley's hand pass is okay to Tui. Tui in 2 minds, almost got caught. Phillips got a hand to it, just tickled it over the back to Simpson. He goes short, and an opportunity now for young Jack Silvani.
Plenty of numbers back, the Saints.
Silvani putting them inside 50. Cripps the flyer and did it very, very gracefully indeed. It's a big, strong boy. Boy, does he move well.
The advantage over Patrick Cripps is the size of a key forward.
Yeah.
It's a nice kick from Silvani with that in mind, wasn't it? He put it up for him.
Well, the others were held off in body-on-body duels, so it gave Cripps a run and jump at the footy.
Coming off a good game against the Hawks, where he had over 30 disposals. Just the 7 goals to his name for the season so far, and that one drifting away to the left. And Carlton getting their first behind on the board with just on 5.5 minutes remaining in a quarter that has been dominated by St Kilda. Savage towards Hickey. The big man just eventually forced to defend, and he gets it down to Seb Ross. Now, Gresham's got a chance here. Doherty's first to it. Gresham's got him. He gets the hand pass towards Tui, but is it far enough? Membry is there. Membry does the shepherding. Minchington tried to get it across. Membry goes again. Oh, the defence of Carlton are absolutely desperate.
Gee, they blew one there, the Saints. Clean hands, they stroll in and kick a goal. The Blues, to their credit, after a couple of errors, some good defensive tackling.
So good aggressive play by the Carlton team. Can they get it out of there? Wiedering does it beautifully to Simpson. Then it's Kerridge. So they clear the 50. The race is on. Silvani's out there against Gilbert. Gilbert hands it over to him. Silvani close to the boundary line. Drags it up the line. Does reasonably well. Ball stays in. He couldn't go for the boundary line like his old man would have. That's gone long ago, and the Blues going to get this.
Oh, Fisher. Put it in. Fisher.
She's a little bit in slow motion today, Sam Fisher.
So now Carlton up towards Silvani. The ball just dropped on his head and he marked it. Good play, great courage. So Jack Silvani, since coming on, has been very busy. Too far out to score. Lead in the pocket. Right to the boundary line. And they'll reset with the throw in. So Carlton get a chance here. They've really saved the goal at the other end. So this is a 2-goal turnaround for the Blues if they can snag one here. Stephen Silvani, the list manager at Carlton, of course, the proud father.
Hickey from behind, Cruiser in front. No one able to pick it up cleanly initially. Montagna works hard. Walker caught. Dunstan's got him, and the boundary line has Cruiser.
He hasn't had a kick or a handball at the moment, Andrew Walker. You reckon they give him one? Just say run round the back. We'll give you an early one to get it going.
If he was Boomer Harvey, he'd have one by now.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hickey and Cruiser again. Akers third man up. Walker trying to get a kick. Akers does get one, but it's wide, very wide, and out of bounds on the full. Carlton with another opportunity to go deep into attack. So from 65 metres, Phillips is a target. He's at the back, but behind him, in fact, was Hickey, who takes a good, strong mark. Likes to play on with handball at all costs. Gilbert now out of the back pocket towards Membry. Thumped away from him. Membry gets another opportunity, gets the hand pass away. It's flicked towards centre wing. Josh Bruce is the target. He's got to beat a couple here. Had Simpson closing fast, Wiedering there as well, and they push it over the line.
Sure, I think Carlton are able to defend that straight line ball coming out of the back line really well. It's any time there's an angle put into play that they've really struggled to contain the Saints.
Yeah, good point. Well, yeah, it normally happens in any game, the straight ball, because you can move across, can't you, in numbers. But, yeah, you're right. Every time they switch the Saints and get it out, and they might be doing it right here, Kingy.
Dempster, Montagna, and now Savage.
Come back.
He does. He heard you, Shorey. Back to Dempster. Fisher wants it short, and he gets it. He'll look towards Hickey on the wing, unless a shorter offering is on there, and it is, in the form of Dempster. Dempster now also looks towards Hickey. Rewald has come down too. Well spoiled. Wiedering was there, taken off hands by Kerridge, pops it over the top and gets it back from Toohey. Kerridge now centering ball. This has got to be good. It's not. It's good for Gilbert. A good diving mark. Sammy Gilbert onto the left boot he goes.
Good kick.
Out of the shadows into the sunshine. And a chance for Gresham in the middle. Simpson closing fast.
Oh, gee.
Gresham flicks him off. Stevens gives it away to Ross. St Kilda go inside 50 once again. Is there a mark taken? No. Well spoilt by Rowe. Toohey takes the defensive hand pass. Gives a little ground to defend. And once again, it's going to be Doherty that should get them out of trouble.
Well, plenty of Blues down the middle corridor, but he decides to go out to the one spot on the ground where there was only a Saint, and the mark is taken by Hickey.
That's one of those occasions where a player plays on without having any options in the direction he goes.
Off the hands of the pack. Chance there for Dunstan from the boundary line, but behind is all he can score. His first score of the afternoon. There we go, boys. It's an Olympic weekend.
Well,
Greco-Roman wrestling, yeah.
Gymnastics, bit of Greco-Roman, a little bit of judo maybe as well. Guys, we'll be scoring it by the end of the week. So Toohey. Nice long kick. Gilbert did well with his body and got the drop zone under control, took it to the boundary line, and I think he'd be happy with that. The Saints could reload 55 out from their goal. Minute 26 on the board. Carlton desperate to not let another one go through here. If they can get one, well, that would be so advantageous for them because they haven't looked like it at the moment, but now they've got the chance. Is Bryce Gibbs. Kicks long. Armfield is the man. The race is on. He's got it.
Right.
It was a magnificent kick from Bryce Gibbs. Beautiful running from Armfield. Kept his eye on the ball, but the kick was magnificent.
And the other thing about it, I think Alan Richardson be filthy about that stoppage, how they had so many players on the back of the pack unmanned. I know they're being attacking, but gee, you had to sort of at least get one person in between the three to make it difficult to get the ball through, and that was fantastic kick by Bryce Gibbs.
So this is a huge kick for Carlton. Inside the last minute to get back into this game. Armfield from 45 out. And just shanked it all together. Through for a behind.
That would have been a great result if they could get back to only 4 goals to 2 down, because they've been completely outplayed in the first term.
Well, Armfield's been pretty accurate too in recent weeks.
Too close, that shot.
Yeah.
He had to be outside 50. That's where he's at his best.
So Joey Montagna, usually pretty good with his kick. That's no exception. Finds his skipper. 316 games. It's an outstanding achievement. Doherty towards the line.
Blake Acres is one player that snuck up on me. He's had 11 touches already in the first term and just sort of sneaks under your guard.
Speaking of sneaking, that's what Rui's doing to Stewie Lowe's number of games played. Just 5 behind him now. Cripps and Dunstan go to ground. Seb Ross there as well. And another stoppage on the outer wing. So a good start by St Kilda, just seconds only remaining. They got out of the blocks as Tui has it on the outer side to Cripps. There's Walker, gets a possession with a handball, and as the siren sounds, he will be credited with it. So let's hope he has a good afternoon in his final game. But the honours are with the Saints. 4 goals, 3, 27, leading Carlton 1-2-8. The Saints by 19 points here at the MCG. Welcome back to the MCG. Billings, Armitage, Membry and Weller all scoring goals for the Saints in the first term. Zach Tui, the lone goal kicker for Carlton. And the Saints have got a 19-point lead, 4-3-27 to Carlton. 1 goal, 2-8. Bright sunshine now over the bulk of the ground as we go down to our boundary man extraordinaire in David King. And Kingy, you want to talk about the Saints small men in the forward line?
Well, they've been fantastic, haven't they? They've been allowed to take uncontested marks in their forward 50. 7 marks from 12 entries, and it's the smaller guys, not the key position targets that we're used to seeing in Rewald and Bruce and the like. You've got Weller, you've got Billings, Newnes, Stevens dropped in there. Armitage has been inside that forward 50. Carlton have been really lax in the midfield. Their defensive work's been poor. They've given up 27 points in a quarter to St Kilda when they've been able to keep Hawthorn and the Sydney Swans to 74 for a full game over the past fortnight. So a lot of work for that man there to do, Brendan Bolton, with his midfield in particular, boys.
Well, it was the Saints who ended Carlton's 4-game winning run earlier on in the season, and they did it with run, and if they're not careful, Jason and Shorey, they'll do it again.
Yeah, for me it's a work rate thing. The Blues have had less possessions and less tackles. They're not working hard enough. And if the Saints are able to continue running through the middle under no pressure, they'll hit targets inside 50 and kick a big score, Shorey.
Oh, yeah, look, it's an interesting thing that both sides have missed opportunities for goals. So Carlton had 2 set shots, but St Kilda have messed up a few chains too, which we thought they were going to get easy goals through and made the wrong mistake. So they could be another 2 goals on the board. There's no doubt. It's all midfield pressure. You move the ball sideways and they're not coping with that. And then they're just finding too many unmarked men inside their 50, the Saints at the moment.
So Cruiser going into the middle.
Yeah. They've responded, haven't they, Sandy?
Yeah.
They've got Cripps and also Bryce Gibbs, 2 of their star players, in for the centre bounce. Curno's the other one. So they've got some pretty well-credentialed players in for the opening bounce.
And here we go, Ed. Second quarter, your microphone.
All right, let's go. Big Cruiser up against Hickey, who's been the most effective big man on the ground so far today. Good bounce from the umpy, and up goes Cruiser, gets the tap, looking for Gibbs, who dives in on top of it, gets the handball out, and away they go. Cripps has time to fumble, slip, and then still get it out to Curnow. Curnow waits, Cruiser, they've all had a touch, and they've gone nowhere and actually gave it up.
Great tackle by Hickey.
So Hickey gets a good bounce to Montagna. To Stephen, back to Lee Montagna, who has been magnificent today, off hands. Weller lurking with intent, he falls over as well. The coloured boots are fantastic for everything other than standing up, it would seem at the moment. Tui Goes wide, needs to be a good kick, and it's not. It's over the head, and Geary marks.
1 metre, Dennis, 1 metre.
So Geary, 52 metres, just goes short to Dunstan. Same distance. Buckley did well on the mark there. Short kick is a beauty. Absolute ripper. And Wright will line up for goal from 45 metres out on a little bit tighter than a 45-degree angle. But again, Jason, they've been able to manipulate their forward thrust to have a good, clear shot at goal.
He just held it well, Dunstan. He knew where he wanted to kick it. He just had to wait for someone to hit up on the lead.
So Nathan Wright comes in from 45, kick to the city end. It's on its way. It bends back and bends right through the middle. It's a good goal. First blood to the Saints in the second term.
And one of the things we can see when you have a look at St Kilda and what they're doing inside 50 is they're not kicking it long to where the numbers are.
Good point.
They're looking short entries, they're hitting lead-up targets, they're finding space in the defensive zone, and they're having their shots from that 40, 45 metres out, and you can see where they're taking the marks. None of them are deep. They're all in that outer half of the forward 50.
Just that kick inside the corridor, like you said, Jason, if you kick that to the top of the square or on the line, they spoil the ball through for an easy point or a rush point. But just that movement of 15 metres into the corridor, that shifts the defence. If you don't do it properly, you're going to have gaps, and they found it then.
25 points, the lead, the biggest so far in the game. The Cripps hand pass Wanding and finding Gibbs. Round the body he goes, putting them inside 50. Casbolt was a target, but he couldn't do it. Clever little flick on by Phillips. It was certainly the right idea. Robertson a chance to clear. He does to Geary. Jaron Geary. Many say he'll be the next skipper down at St Kilda. Again, the Blues with a chance to come back into play through Doherty. Through the centre he goes, up towards half forward. And again, well, he may slip over, Cruiser, but even though they're the coloured boots, he can pick himself up again.
He will take that lying down, Sandy.
Cruiser long. Penetrating kick deep inside the 50. No one able to take a clean run at it. Boakhurst eventually does get it out. Oh, delightful move by Gibbs. It deserves a goal. It's not going to get it. He's pulled it away to the left and through for one behind.
McRewell kicking in.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have done it too often, you think. He does it a few times now and then, but...
Let's see how he goes. He's opted for the outer side of the ground. Fisher waiting down in front of the pack. Bruce couldn't take it cleanly. Armfield, but there's been a whistle. It's a high tackle.
Did you ever kick him from full-back, Josh?
No, can't say I would have wanted to. Sure,
Well, he did it once under Lee Matthews.
You need to be comfortable with it.
Here's Daisy. Centering ball, and this is better. The big arms of Levi Casbolt lock that ball, and he'll have a shot directly in front, 25 out.
That was the easy bit, Sandy.
This is the challenge. You're right.
You know he's got good hands. Directly in front, 20 out. A kick from 25.
13 goals to his name for the season.
Leg's got to go through the target.
Now, if you're the coach, if you're a coach of any side, you're sitting here saying you're a professional footballer, you've got to make this work.
In he comes. Come on, Levi. Oh, my hat.
Well,
he ran at the right post and then he missed the left post.
Oh, dear.
We were talking about Johnny Butcher and where the clubs would be maybe interested if he was to move on from Port Adelaide. He's got a bit of the same issue. Look, it's a decision. You can make a bloke who can mark a lot but not convert.
Jason Dunstan just shaking his head as the ball goes forward up towards Phillips, off hands, rush behind. Jason Dunstan thinking, I could come back as a designated kicker, I reckon. Let Big Levi take the mark. I'll go out and put it through from 30. You could still do that, I reckon, Big Jace.
Yeah, he's got an obvious flaw there, Levi. And it's not something that's going to be fixed easily.
Nah. So what does he need to do? He leans back, he bends his knees, bit all over the place, double-handed drop.
He does a lot of things wrong, Ed.
Yeah.
That's a horrible.
Apart from that, he's got it right.
That's a poor kick, but he had no one at home. Wiedering takes the mark. Came from Ross. He gives it across to Armfield, and Carlton should be able to repel. But it was a disappointing kick.
I think also he might have that little man from ear to ear running in his head saying, I don't think I can do this. That doesn't help.
And the voice is getting louder and louder.
Louder and louder.
Jory, as the season goes on. Curnow
He's proving to be very accurate, that man on his shoulder.
Special comments, I reckon, Kiki.
Around Rewalt, up towards half forward. He was in the thick of things there. Robertson waited at the back. Dylan Robertson bends it back, looking for Billings, who kicked a goal in the first term. He goes inboard to Jack Stephen, who hasn't been the dynamic self we know he can be so far today, but he finds Weller. He spears a pass. That's better.
Another mark.
Gee, that's
excellent. Membry.
It's a terrific pass, and it's also in that zone we just highlighted where all the marks are being taken. They are not kicking long to a contest. They are hitting the lead-up target. They're finding holes around 30 or 40 metres out from goal. He even had time to slip over Membry, get up, and then go again. It's a really good kick from Mav Weller.
Yeah, been a good season for this man. He's averaging almost 3 goals a game. And this one would stretch the lead to 28 points. And he's made no mistake. He's got it. Membry's got a couple. Saints are on a bit of a roll. They've got the first 2 in this second quarter and stretching their lead to 28 points.
Well, you cannot coach that. You know, you've got a player who's got a kick from 20 metres out, straight in front of goal, fails to do what he gets paid to do, and then it goes up the other end. It's a 12-point turnaround. So, you know, Brendan Bolton be sitting in there saying, hey, we kick it, we get the ball to where we want to get it, we mark the ball where we want to get it, but a professional footballer has to finish off there, and it just hurts you when that happens. Emotionally, it really brings everybody down after a while.
Yep. Yeah, one bloke message from dead in front, as you said, Tony, right up the other end. I thought what was wonderful in that play, though, was Jack Billings, who presented on the wing and just gave them the out from half-back to half-forward that set it all up. He's playing great football. So Carlton try again out of the centre. It's Nick Graham, who kicks up towards centre-half forward. Gilbert at the fall of the ball does well. Did well, all right. It was a magnificent handball. Open it up. Comes to Akers, who's so busy, as Jason Dunstall said in the first term. Again, the kick was to the right spot. Beautiful play. And the mark has been taken there by Wright. Beautiful kick, allowed his teammate to run onto it. Now they're away again. Seb Ross. Again, magnificent kick, and Hickey goes up unattended.
He looks frustrated, Andrew Walker. He's looking around his teammates. A quick play on midfield. He was the one closest.
Savage, no one was with him. Savage comes in, bends it back. It won't come back enough, though. Can they mark it on the line? Yes. Yes, they can.
Bruce.
Oh, how did that happen? Magnificent mark on the line by Josh Bruce. Clearly can run around here on the right boot. The Saints have kicked the last 5 goals of the game. From point-blank range. Goes...
I have never seen anything like that.
It stayed in.
Now, why... Well, we'll talk about the option in just a moment.
There's been a lot of games watched by the 4 of us over the journey, and none of us have ever seen that.
That is extraordinary. Here's Cripps with a chance, but Stevens steals it. Jack Stevens goes long and direct, but there's plenty of Carlton players abound.
Well done,
Bruce
fella.
does the roving, went through but lost the footy to Wiedering. Silvani couldn't take it cleanly. They go to ground, the pack develops, and we'll have a stoppage, 35 out from the Saints scoring zone.
All right, Josh, we defer to you, mate. What happened?
Well, he strikes the wrong part of the ball. He's trying to open up the angle, and he's lifted it so high in the air. He's just completely caught the wrong part of the ball.
And that kick going wide by Jack Nunes.
Horrible execution.
He had no faith in the right-hand side of his body, just like it's only 2 steps in and even non-preferred.
Yeah, a lot of them don't like using the non-preferred foot.
White with the footy in the back pocket. Jack Nunes, incidentally, playing his 63rd straight game.
And, Josh, you do have 10 metres these days, don't you? So you should not miss from there.
Well, everyone cribs, but it's about 7 metres. You've still got plenty of space.
Casbolt, good, strong, contested mark. Goes towards centre wing, and Dempster, also a good mark. Thought about giving it to Savage. He's got Gresham lurking as well. Goes into the middle. Oh, Weller had it spent a little early. Working hard was Billings, but he loses it. Now an opportunity for Doherty to go to Armfield. He thought about going off.
And
50 metres.
That's against Gilbert.
Gee, yeah.
Did that well in
Well, the difficulty for Sam Gilbert is no one was standing the mark, and he knew someone had to get there, but he had to go on a wide arc to get around the protected zone to get there because he was so late coming to it.
Is it too harsh a penalty, especially when it happens in an area like that? Is it too harsh?
Not for that, because he's come from a long way behind. There was ample opportunity for St Kilda players to go and stand the mark.
To run up.
Everyone ran away from it.
Well, he's had one opportunity and missed. He shouldn't miss this, and he doesn't. Armfield gets his first and a much-needed second goal to the Navy Blues.
I'm a bit with you, Sandy. There's no doubt about the free kick. There's no doubt about the 50-metre penalty, but I just wonder if we can vary that. There's Sam Gilbert. That is too... Well, the other player on the other side would have probably got 50
would have been the same.
anyway.
And just before those two, you saw Sam Fisher. You watched Sam Fisher. He darted straight out to the right to get out of the picture, but Gresham and Gilbert were both through the protected zone.
I'll tell you what, though, then also, Dylan Buckley was Gilbert's man. He chased him and couldn't catch him, so the bloke said, I'll take him off the mark and I'll try and fill in, and that's when they got caught out. Now, I don't know whether you should get a 50-metre penalty for that. I'd like to see a smaller margin.
Go back to the old 15, Tony.
Oh, 25.
Yeah.
Look, you can belt someone in the head accidentally and get 50-metre penalties, but this just doesn't have a major impact on the game.
Montagna again, the handball. Seb Ross looks inside, decides to go back with the handball. Long kick forward here by Gresham, who's been very, very good today. Off hands. Silvani flicks it out. Curnow gets it back, just gets his kick on it, but Stephen, he won't take the mark. Does well enough to pick it up. Seb Ross tracking the ball, tries to flick it out. Akers is there for the Saints. Good tackle on Daisy Thomas. We'll have a ball up.
Just slapping his hip, Jack Stephen, dropped the chest mark, then gave a pretty ordinary hand pass. He knows.
Oh, hello. Akers is in a lot of trouble here. He ran past and had two goes. He went to hit Daisy Thomas, and then he's gone straight to the solar plexus, a big cruiser. He's in a lot of trouble on this one.
I reckon he's been reported. Mind you, there wasn't
There was
that
a
much
lot
in
of
it.
that.
Gee, we'll get the other
He
end.
might have hit him in an area where it takes your breath away.
Oh, I hope he did, because he's gone down as if shot and had he cruised.
But he's still crook. He wasn't waiting for it. I think if we see the other angle, we might see he might have hit him right in the bread basket. Cripps goes long.
Below the bread basket. Up towards half forward. Casbolt couldn't take it. Gibbs has got assist, gives it to Tui, who kicked the goal in the first term. Can he make it two? Yes, he can. Maybe that will lift the Blues.
Oh, great kick, wasn't it? Amazing. You give a free kick away down the other end of the ground and they get away with it, but we'll see it again here. Oh, she must have just got him right in the right spot. I don't know whether you get reported. You might get a $1,500 fine for something like that.
You'd hope he doesn't get rubbed out.
But Zach Tui
wasn't very aggressive at all.
Zach Tui's always been known to kick goals from outside 50.
It's obviously caught him at a susceptible moment, but it was one of those where, Blake Akers wanted to do something, he was angry, but he actually pulled himself half out of it.
Yeah.
Didn't follow through, but...
They got a free kick, that's all you want.
Yeah.
So you want to stamp it out of the game, though, boys. Unfortunately, you have to at some point take a stand, and unfortunately, suspension is the way to go.
Cruiser and Bruce.
If he gets rubbed out for that, King,
I'm with the
I'd be amazed.
Yeah. Here's Cripps, free kick out of the middle. It's a high ball. Can Carlton make it back-to-back goals? They've got a chance. Defending was Gary, gets a hurried kick to Armitage. Armitage goes in towards Gresham. He's pretty quick, and he had to be to get his kick towards Riewoldt. An uncustomary fumble. The door almost opened for Rowe, but it opens for Ross. Seb's hand pass okay in the end to Armitage. Left foot pass. Vision is very, very good.
Beautiful.
And the mark is taken there by Jackie Billings, who's already kicked one, and he'll go back for the quick reply.
So let's do a quick snap poll while he's going back. Kingy, if you punch anybody in the game, should you get a week, regardless? No punching.
I agree, and I think that's one thing we can just stop almost immediately. That wasn't even in play.
Take it out of the game altogether. Jason?
Punch, though,
It wasn't even a punch, it was just an arm.
Yeah.
We'll give him 2 weeks then.
Let's have a look at the kick. Billings from 46 metres. Beautiful kick. Beautiful kick by Billings. He's got 2, and the Saints march on. They've got 7. And once again, stretch the lead to 22 points.
And how many times have we seen it already today? Players running forward into holes in the attacking 50 for the Saints. Have a look at him out. He was out there for an eternity on his own. He just needed a bit of vision. He got that. Armitage saw him. And then a really good finish from Jack Billings.
That's the 14th mark inside 50. And every goal they have kicked, the 7 goals that they've kicked so far, all from marks inside 50.
14's as many as a lot of teams take in a game.
Yep, exactly.
It's the dream team play, isn't it, Shorey? Get it into that corridor, mark it, kick the goal.
You can go either side of the ground. It's hard to defend.
Bruce into the ruck, gets the tap down. Gresham has been very, very good today. A long bomb up and under, again to the hot spot, off hands. They've got plenty of players down there. Good interception there for Carlton by Simpson, saved the day. The hoiking kick, unable to take the mark, was Robertson.
Jeez, he did well.
Well done.
Yeah. Cripps on hands and knees, gets it out to Simpson, to Silvani. And the mark is taken between halfback and wing position. So Jack Silvani looks up, not much on. Casbolt was in the corridor, went over the head of Cruiser. Armfield did well, tackled from behind. Akers, they'll be looking for him, got the handball over the top, was good football. Armitage's kicking has been wonderful today. He's now got the opportunity to go into the centre. Silvani goes whack, and Ross goes down. In the meantime, the Saints have got the ball and they've got it forward to Revolt. Jack Billings is in the square, twisting and turning. Revolt's kick was almost to the right spot. He knew that Minchington was there, but he couldn't find him in the end. Now the Blues get back in numbers and will have a ball up. That's a win for Carlton.
Yeah, what you do see there, though, are the effects of age. He's been a superstar, Nick Revolt, but the agility wasn't quite there to get back, to get around and to hit the target.
Good contest, that one. Seb Ross, of course, the nephew of Tim Watson. Jack Silvani, the son of Sauce, grandson of Serge. Bit of pedigree out the ground there, Sandy. In the meantime, the Saints have got a shot at goal.
Yeah, there certainly is. And Josh Bruce, distance will certainly test him. I think he wants to find something. And the question is, will he? Yeah, he'll find the boundary line.
But they've avoided kicking long, haven't they? They've avoided kicking to the long contest. They've just really tried to honour leads.
Mav Weller about to come back on. Bruce to contest with Phillips, who got his hands to the ball, then tried to get it out. Now they've got a problem. Dunstan tries to steal it, but he's caught by Gibbs. And we'll have another stoppage. Carlton have struggled this season to win quarters. They've won just 23 quarters for the year, the fewest of any side. And at the moment, they don't look like winning this one. Here's Gresham. Can he snap? He does, but he's right across the face and just sneaking it in from behind.
Good player, isn't he?
Yeah, he's exciting. He's exciting. Shorey?
I don't think he's going to get any taller, but what he's doing is very smart.
So Carlton desperate for a couple of goals in this last 7 or 8 minutes of this half. Kick's got to be good. It's not. Geary could have almost been paid that mark, held it for a long time. Dylan Robertson, not a renowned goal kicker, goes towards the top of the square. That goes across the face of goal, and it's defensively pushed over the boundary line.
Like a height doesn't slow you down, does it, Shorey?
See what they set up here, the Saints, if they get a third man up. And no one's gone up.
No, just Cruiser really alone. Armitage locked up, going nowhere.
Now the ruckman comes in, or is Bruce going to do the work here?
Armitage a little quieter today, just the 8 disposals. Montagne's been sensational with 14. Akers has got 13. Tui and Doherty a dozen each. And the Saints still peppering away. It's a poor kick over. It's going to drop short. And Simpson defends.
Interesting talking about David Armitage. I reckon his last 4 to 6 weeks have been quiet.
Good kick from Simpson up the middle. Didn't quite find anyone, but there was plenty of Blues there. They'll get it eventually. Casbolt does well. Curnow over the top. Now they're away. They need to do something with this kick. Graham just hopes for the best and goes forward. It might come off. Kerridge tackled. Little flick over the top. Cruiser knows there's Blues forward. Too high. And Armitage gives up the free kick. So Jaron Geary will take it at 10.5 back.
See, one decent kick and they're away there, the Blues.
Armfield just too high with the tackle. They had 3 players forward, didn't they, on that occasion?
Phillips had been standing there for an eternity just waiting for someone to kick it to him.
Yeah, Armfield went hard, but too high. And the mark now taken by Jack Stephen. Montagna has Revolt in the middle of the ground, decides to go to Savage. Starting to open up this game now, the Saints. As Armitage has it. Revolt has been lurking around that centre-half back position for a while. Back to Savage. Wants to pinpoint and does. Good kick. Minchington. Nunes.
Oh, that was good.
They are wide open now, the Saints. Gilbert looks up. He has 2 players to choose in the pocket. They raffle it. And they call him Bruce. He takes the mark. That was great football. From one back pocket to the opposite side forward pocket and a shot at goal. The ball didn't hit the ground hardly.
I reckon they would have had match simulation doing that at training a number of times. You just saw how they were trying to work the ball, get it back into the corridor, and they were very patient in doing it. It just looked like a training drill to me. So either that or Carlton's defence isn't really good.
Yeah, and Dunstan under the ball if needed. Wasn't required, so Josh Bruce comes in and just fades it to the left-hand side.
Chase have taken 15 marks inside their forward 50. The AFL average for a game is 12.
Yep.
It just shows you the lack of pressure through the midfield at the moment. I'm surprised they're still within a 4-goal reach of the Saints.
Yeah, and to me it's also a reflection of the strategy about not just bombing the ball in, but looking for short targets.
Tui to White. High ball towards half-back. Well, Walker got a fly, couldn't complete the mark. He goes again. Got a touch, just pushes it out for Daisy Thomas, who has a look downfield, gives it to the run of Gibbs. He's got to get around Ross. He does. Back to Thomas, pops it over the top. Chance for Silvani, still outside 50. Ross gets him, but he just gets a short kick. Hand pass comes back towards Seb Ross. Gee, he's cool and calm, and they go short to Montagna. Now a chance to run. The kick is good, up towards Rewalt, but he's got absolutely nothing downfield. Minchington, now they're starting to run. Couple of players making space at full forward. They only need one, and they've got him. Josh Bruce will get another chance. We saw him shoot just a moment ago, and he'll go back now and should have few problems in converting this. 31 goals for the season. Bit of a quieter year than last year when he booted 50.
Well, we just saw him miss one. Made a complete hash of a banana earlier, so he gets his chance to register a goal. And should kick this.
This to stretch the lead to 30 points, 5 straight goals. He makes no mistake. Bruce gets his first, his 32nd for the season, and the Saints cruise on.
I've been taking stats for a long time, Jace, about how goals are kicked in a game. Well, every one of these goals, from marks inside 50. The rebound from Silvani, just not getting the ball through by hand. It wasn't his fault. The pressure was great, but just a quick hands to work the ball through was brilliant. And Nick Rewalt on his non-preferred, he'd messed up one just prior to that, outside 50, but at that time just swung on his non-preferred, and they had all the space running forward.
So Bruce, who could have had 3 goals, has got his first. But as Shorey mentioned, tremendous target up forward. Saints are dominating the air inside 50. Hickey goes up and gets the tap, knocks it backwards, looking for and finding his teammate. He had 2 players on that occasion going through. Simpson. Off hands, and away they go. Boakhurst's kick into the corridor. Ooh. Savage went hard. Good play. And the umpire will give that a throw-in. Benefit of the doubt.
Just appreciated by his teammate. Sam Fisher went over and gave him a slap and said, well done. That's the sort of commitment you want to spoiling at the contest.
So the Blues desperately need a goal. Phillips gets the flick. Daisy Thomas, good handball out wide. Now Simpson doesn't want to bomb it in because they're outnumbered, but he does. He bombs it in, and as a result of that,
they're outnumbered.
And St Kilda get the mark. So a good, strong defensive mark by Sean Dempster.
Dempster comes towards Hickey and Rewalt. Rewalt, in the end, almost uncontested. across half back. Just goes laterally. Just back to Dempster.
Oh, they're out too, St Kilda.
The switch is on. Now they've got Gilbert over the top here. It should use him. Sammy Gilbert. And then over the top again to Minchington. Minchington's almost down to centre wing. And he can go longer to Membry if they get clear. He's only got to get clear. Membry's down on the 50. They're starting to close on him now. One grab, couldn't complete the mark. Tui was there. Membry tried to flick it out. So well done by Ross to Dunstan. Dunstan short, that's going to be okay on the mark, taken by Jackie Noon.
There's still 5 forwards on 3 defenders down there for the Saints. They just are working so much harder than their opponents. I mean, we just saw Cade Simpson hold his arms up and look at the rest of his teammates. Any danger of a few of you blokes getting back and working and giving us a chop out?
In the last month, they've been the 17th in the competition, Carlton, from retaining possession inside 50 with kicks. I think it's standing out today.
Hasn't missed a game this season, and he doesn't miss the goal either. Jack Nunes gets his first. St Kilda march on. So far a big 5-goal second term, and they continue to stretch their lead. It's now out to 36 points.
Yeah, it just doesn't look pretty at the moment. It's the way it's happening that's really the problem with Carlton. It's so easy. They're not being able to defend any rebound from their forward 50, as I said, with that stat, last month, the 17th in the competition from holding the ball inside 50 through kicks. So you've got to be better than that. You just got to put enough pressure on to slow the ball movement down.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the Carlton room at half-time. I reckon Brendan Bolden, who's normally calm, considered and pretty logical, he'd be disappointed with his work rate effort, and he'll have a few home truths for him.
Jace, I'll give you a bit of homework in the last couple of minutes. Who's the first person he goes to?
To me, it'll be the midfield group, no doubt. The midfield group is where he'll start it, but it's across the board. It is a total team effort here, whether it's tackling, pressure, chasing, attention to detail in the defensive structure, all sorts of issues.
And they're running it out as if out of the back line, out of the forward line rather. It's just not staying in there at all. High up and under. The Saints are going to get another go at this.
So they're not getting smashed in contested possessions or clearances. What's happening when the ball gets out? I don't think they're just working hard back enough to fill space.
It's another centre break to young Jade Gresham. Having a big day out today. Dunstan now from half forward kicks. That's in the back, isn't it?
Another bar.
I thought that was in the back anyway. Umpire's called play on.
He's in trouble.
Walker tackled. Another slip at the vital moment from Simpson. In goes Rui and holds it up for a ball up at centre forward. I thought that could have been a free kick to St Kilda. Right went up and copped it right in the back of the head.
He got the ball first, and it was the follow-through of the body. It's a good spoil from Simpson.
So St Kilda with 43 seconds on the clock. Chance for another mark, Tony. You're not going to have to use the other column of your stat sheet there. It's another mark inside 50 for a shot at goal.
Gee, that was a good kick, though.
Do you think he meant that, Sam?
Yep.
Off the
I'm going to give him a bit of a doubt.
Bit of a floater. It didn't spin perfectly, but he got it to the area that he wanted to.
Yeah. Well done to Seb Ross. Let's watch it again.
Oh, yeah, gee, well done.
Pulled it. Beautiful stuff. And as a result of that, St Kilda lining up for another goal. Membry has kicked 2. One in the first, one in the second to make it 3 for the first half. He comes in and caresses it. Beautiful kick right through the middle. That's 3 on the siren for Tim Membry. And St Kilda have now blown this game wide open. They lead by 42 points. They end up kicking the last 4 goals from the 15-minute mark. They'd kicked 5 in a row since halfway through the first quarter to the 6.5-minute mark of the second quarter before Carlton kicked 2 consecutive goals to get within 16 points. But from that moment, it has been a procession for Saints. They've been marching in, no doubt about it. 10-5-65, Carlton 3-5-23. 42 points, David King.
Mav, what have you made of the first half? The ball's coming in nice and pure for you.
Yeah, when we get to the open side and we're bold and we change the angles of the ball, it's been really good.
The forward line work's been fantastic. They've taken 19 marks inside the forward 50. It looks like you're going shorter, not trying to bomb it in.
Yeah, it's all about working together and being hard to play on. And you know, blokes, especially our smalls, have been able to find space and get some marks.
Get in there and have a break, mate.
Thank you.
Well done, Mav. He's been all the action. He was in having a push and shove before the start of the game. He was kicking goals. He was setting them up. He's done everything you could possibly want for the St Kilda Football Club today. He kicked the first goal of the game for the Saints. And here we are at halftime, 9 goals later. Saints leading by 42 points. Back at the MCG, well, tonight on the bounce, Simon O'Donnell is the special guest, and we're zooming in on the gold seat, the only gold seat at the MCG, which is where in 1993, on the Sheffield Shield match between Victoria and New South Wales, right where that bloke with a cap is, see the gold seat behind him? He doesn't even know he's sitting on it. He might think he's on an odd seat. That's where the ball went when Greg Matthews bowled to Simon O'Donnell, and he tonked it into the second deck at the MCG. We believe the most massive 6 ever hit here at the G. Good on you, Scuba. He'll tell you all about it tonight, Jason Dunstall, on the bounce.
Yeah, looking forward to having Scuba tonight. There'll be a lot of entertainment, I suspect, and he'll be keeping a keen eye on this match, being a former St Kilda player, hoping they can repeat the dose in the second half here. They completely controlled the first half. We need to see an answer from the Blues. They need to have just restructured a few things and got their heads right about the sort of intent in this second half.
Well, let's see what sort of intent and endeavour they put on display. Hickey in the ruck for St Kilda, having a good year, averaging 29 hit-outs a game, and he gets it out of the middle too with a hand pass towards Geary. He finds Jack Stephen. Stephen goes up towards the half-forward line. Membry was the target. Did he get a little shove? He did. And Tim Membry will take the free kick. No, he's paid the advantage finally. So Rewalt's got to beat a couple here. Gresham went over the top. Buckley's in trouble behind. He goes down. And we've got a stoppage, 25 out from the St Kilda scoring zone. Carlton, to have any chance, they've got to get 2 or 3 quick goals in this term just to give themselves a slight sniff. Gibbs couldn't take it. Hickey out of the pack, and the big man's done it. Hickey gets his first goal and just his 3rd for the season. And if you want something to deflate you in the first minute of a quarter, well, Tom Hickey has just done that to Carlton, Jason.
I tell you what, it is very good from a big fellow off one step just to grab it, throw it on his opposite peg and slot it through. Brilliant start for the Saints. This really has all the hallmarks of a rout happening now. If they can't get a handle on things, the Blues, this could open up to a very, very big margin.
Shorey, I'll read these names out. These are people with 6 disposals or less. Armfield, Casbolt, Graham, Boakhurst, White, Wright, Silvani, Buckley, Walker, Cruiser, Phillips, Plowman and Rowe. It's a lot of players to have 6 or less.
Especially in the modern game when you can get a lot going backwards and sideways. They're just the short ones to keep possession.
All right, well, the ball is now back inside 50 for the Saints again. Jason Dunstall has said rout right coming right onto this game. And it appears that way at the moment. The Blues try to get it out. Simpson has been one of the better players. In fact, this is his 16th and game-high disposal for the Carlton side. Buckley trying to break through. That's better. Silvani will sit for him. Can he get there? He can. Looks up. Chips it around into the forward 50. He might bounce through for a goal. Will it? No. It just slows up. And Lee Montagna, as he's done so many times, just mops it up and does it beautifully to Geary.
Jaron Geary from the defensive 50 goes wide towards the wing and Akers. Takes a good mark in opposition to Gibbs now. He's got a problem. Gibbs got him, but not before he got the hand pass away to Gresham. Clever little lateral kick finds Armitage.
How good was that by Gresham then? Because he had nothing forward of the ball. He's going to be around for a long time, I think.
Armitage, good spotting. Finds Weller. He started the day with a goal. Goes out of the shadows into the sunshine. Players shielding their eyes. And you can see the effect the sun has had on them on that occasion.
I think they all lost it.
Yeah, they did.
Josh Bruce nearly took an uncontested mark, but he couldn't see it well enough to hold it.
Alex nearly hit him in the head.
30 metres out from the scoring zone for the Saints. Cruiser leaves it. Kerridge round the body towards Casbolt. Couldn't take the mark cleanly. Gibbs, little chip is okay towards Walker. Quiet day so far. Just his 5th disposal, and that wasn't a memorable one either. It just bounced inside the line to prevent the Saints going into attack again. Cruiser. Well, Phillips has spent more time on the ball than him. Cripps, a kick under pressure, and that forces him out of bounds on the full. The equation for St Kilda is pretty simple. They just have to keep winning. They've got to win every game, the last 4, and perhaps rely on North Melbourne or the Eagles doing something rather drastic.
Oh, look at the space.
At the moment, it's Dunstan, who's really one of their key midfielders now. He goes across the ground, and again, the Sun proving elusive. Very, very difficult. They've got a chance now. The kick is by Billings. He's wide, very wide. But it is a major problem down that end at the moment as his ball goes out on the full.
You could just see Nick Riewoldt at the left-hand part of the screen then when that ball went out of bounds. He was on the other side of the ground for the kicker coming through 50. He had 30 metres on his opponent.
So Cripps, who was dealt with, has a bit of a spell on the bench. We saw also there before some work being applied on Nathan Wright, who was cleaned up just before the half-time siren. And St Kilda just running into the right spots. It's been wonderful gameplay today. And Riewoldt presents full-chested yet again. The St Kilda skipper just waits, kicks to the pocket, and it is magnificent.
You talked about Nathan Wright there, Ed. He's just getting some work done on his backside of his ribs, if you like, just behind his shoulder blade there. And he did wear the full knee. I think it was Cade Simpson who come through just prior to half-time, so he's still suffering a little bit.
So remember, he's kicked 3. Jose, when you're hot, you may as well have a shot from here.
He's a beautiful kick at the footy. Love his technique. Everything's pretty simple, straight line. Normally makes really good contact.
Reasonably open goal here too from that position, and he just caresses it. It's the post. Didn't quite come back enough. It hits the post. 3 goals, 1 for Tim Membry today.
He's had a good year, Membry. So back into play once again. Thomas couldn't get a fly at the ball.
Free kick.
He will get a free kick.
Had to
get it. Held.
No,
it's not. Dempster plays on. Goes into 50 again, and Bruce takes the mark. Well, that's incredible.
And Dale Thomas just threw his arms up to the umpire and said, well, hang on a minute. Bloke's taking his eyes off the ball, grabbed me while I'm trying to mark it, and you haven't penalised him.
That's why we've got 3 umpires on the ground, and hopefully one of them to get that. That was just an unbelievable decision.
So Bruce with an opportunity of kicking his second after getting one in the second term, and to stretch St Kilda's lead even further. Kicking from probably 48 metres. Nicely off the boot. And not a problem in the world for Josh Bruce. He's got 2, and the Saints march on.
Well, one thing when you have a half-time break and you played as bad as you have, as Carlton did in that first half, you look for something, whether it's a change of strategy, a change of personnel in different areas of the ground. But what you do want to see is some intensity, and they just haven't come to the second half with any part of that competitive spirit they needed to get back involved in this game. This is like a training run at the moment for St Kilda.
The Saints have now kicked the last 6 goals from the 15-minute mark of the second term, and 11 of the last 13 of the game. So it's a dominant performance. 12-6 place, 3-5. Cruiser goes up, tries to knock it forward. Can Carlton get it out now? The handball came out to start things off from Graham. They get it inside 50, just off the hands of the pack. Good play by Boakhurst. Good smother by St Kilda. And Walker takes it to the boundary line, and Jared Guerin did it beautifully. They've played great disciplined football today, Tony Shaw, haven't they?
Well, I think they've got a very good coach, a person who always says that the team comes first, and that's how he always coach, but he really emphasises that. Spread the load.
The ball just hacked out, but to the right spots. Matt Weller did it beautifully on the turn, got it further forward. They're just shoving it forward at the moment, the St Kilda team. And they're going to get it back again. Flicks it up, and here goes Riewoldt.
Bruce.
Open goal. Bruce, all he has to do is pick it up. Well, the ball beat him. Holds it back. Over the top. Wonderful play. Robertson kicks the goal. Great team effort. They'll have a look at this to see if it crossed the line, I reckon.
I believe it's a goal. Can you please check to see if the ball crossed the behind line before the goal was kicked?
Release, boys. Darren.
Score review.
umpires call as a goal, please check if it crossed the behind line prior to the ball being kicked for the goal.
Review underway.
I think it... Oh!
That's a behind, I think.
Can you see the whole ball, Ed? It's got to be all over the white line.
I think it is there.
I don't reckon the whole ball is.
The whole ball
Review
is.
complete.
Goal.
Confirm goal.
Well, Dylan Robertson in his 99th game. It's his 14th career goal and just his 3rd for the season. And this is becoming an embarrassment. The margin is now 61 points.
And the indictment on Carlton here is that it's a horrible kick from Nick Riewoldt. It bounces, bounces, bounces. Josh Bruce has to do everything he can to keep it in. And when it's all said and done, he still handballs over to someone in the square all on their own.
I'll tell you what, I would have liked to have seen, and maybe we can do this, it's not when he stops here, it's when he handballs. Now the handball goes back. Anyway, a bit hard to see. You can't.
I think those pads don't help, Ed. They're a bit wider. So.
Anyway, it's a goal. Won't make much difference to the result, I wouldn't have thought. Sure, what I loved about that passage of play for St Kilda, though, was they willed the ball from full back to the goal line, basically. There was not much skill. That was feeding them hard football.
And here they go again through Gilbert. Chopped off for the moment by Wiedering, who backpedals to Simpson. Back to Wiedering, back to Simpson. Picking up a few disposals in that little area there. But it's goals they need badly. Armfield gets a shocking bounce. Robertson, the goal kicker, tried to get it out. A chance for Phillips to go with a hand pass. Wasn't too good to Boakhurst. They're not looking very pretty at all at the moment, I'm afraid, Carlton. And it's taken over the line for a throw-in on the outer side, just in St Kilda's attacking zone. Saints have got Sydney, Richmond and Brisbane in the next 3 weeks. Certainly a couple of winnable games there and a battle against Sydney as Boakhurst goes up towards Casbolt and Co. Couldn't take it. Here goes Savage and away he goes wide to Hickey. Big Tom hasn't missed a game this year and has certainly shown rapid improvement. Spears a left foot pass to Riewoldt, a little too much on it. Rowe was right behind him. Simpson comes charging through the middle. He goes short to Armfield. Back again towards Simpson. Back again to Armfield, who fumbles at the critical stage. He may pay a price here. Ross is waiting for it to come out now. Simpson is there as well.
Well done.
Gee, he's played a lone hand in this passage, Simpson. And they've still got possession. There's a beautiful smother. Cripps may get a chance. No, he won't. Well done, Armitage. Showed courage and he just tried to shovel the ball forward. Untidy, Buckley, then tried to kick off the ground. No one able to eventually get it out cleanly. Wiedering's over the top. There's got to be a stoppage there. And finally there is.
That name you just said, Wiedering, I'd love Carlton to throw him on the ball for the last quarter. Just see how he can go as like an old ruck rover, just to give him the experience to see what he can do, to see if he can create.
Hickey flicks it out the back looking for Nunes, who in turn throws it out to Ross, who's had a fantastic season. This is Gresham. A poor kick, however, and could be a turnover. In fact, it will. White takes the mark. He plays on to Doherty, who's still on half-back, going in towards the middle, and Curnow.
So Curnow brings the ball out to Wiedering on half-back flank. Handball's inside to Rowe. Need to build something up here, the Blues. Inside 50 kick is a shocker. And it's picked off easily there for the Saints by Dempster, who just read it off the boot beautifully.
Yeah, you don't want to be a forward the way the ball's coming at Carlton, but the other thing is they are shocking at holding the ball in with some pressure.
Nunes pulled the trigger, thought, let's have a go at this to Armitage. It was picked off by Cripps to Simpson. Buckley to Cripps. Good pressure from Dunstan. Cripps gets around him though. Phillips caught. Oh, you don't handball to Ruckman standing still. That's the old rule, isn't it, boys? Rose kick is a shocker, and here it goes. Montagna got one in the back, surely. And Riewoldt can now gallop because Montagna's got it, and there's 3 St Kilda players on their own forward of the centre. Riewoldt's the man. The kick eventually got there. There's still 2 St Kilda players forward. Make it 3. And Bruce comes out and takes it 55 out. Still has a player, Nunes, in the goal square. He decided to go to Ross in the pocket, and he takes a strong mark.
Made it.
Surely.
That's a grab.
It was either a mark or his arm was chopped.
What about the mark?
Ross goes, well, I held it. Is this a mark?
Oh, yeah.
You be the judge.
Every day.
Apart from the arm chock, the forward attack and the mark.
Looked one good grab, didn't it?
Anyway, the ball now spills outside 50. Curnow looks up. Beautiful smother by Geary, and they're going to bring it straight back to the Saints. Come on, Sandy, get him home.
That's why Geary could be the next skipper of this club. His efforts are sensational. Speaking of sensational, Jackie Nunes has let him down because he's put it straight onto the chest of Simpson.
Too blinkered in his vision. He saw Revolt leading and he didn't consider anything else, regardless of the fact that players were chopping off the lead.
Simpson towards Cruiser. Well spoiled. Push wide. Walker. Hand pass is okay. Kerridge well smothered. Gee, that's good football.
Problem for the Blues at the moment is when they get the ball in the middle of the ground, they look up and they see nothing but St Kilda defenders back, and they don't want to kick it forward to an outnumbered situation, which is why they're hanging on to it, getting caught, forcing handballs that aren't really there.
Phillips with the left hand wins it, but can they take it away? That was thrown out by Jack Stephen. He'll accept it, however. Kerridge down the line.
When you miss targets like that.
Yeah, Graham, no chance.
I'm surprised, Jace and Sorry, by how many handballs from Carlton missed the target today and just put that receiving possession getter under pressure immediately.
Yeah, every time it doesn't go straight to where the player is, and without him breaking stride, he loses time to dispose of the footy.
Robertson and Savage both got a cruel bounce. Silvani did well. Gibbs gives it off now. Now a chance for Buckley, who takes it away from Graham and kicks it behind. 3 goals, 6, and an embarrassing scoreline. Deep into the third quarter. Robertson tucked in the back pocket, gives it away to Montagna. Over the top to another veteran in Gilbert. He finds Armitage. Armitage flicks it nicely to Gresham. Good mark on centre wing. Loves to get on with the job quickly. Has a good look around. Then goes almost into the sunshine. Rewalt right on the edge there of the shadows. Now he goes wide. Can Bruce see this one okay? He can. 52 out. He's got Akers further forward. He's got Dunstan. Dunstan was his target. Armfield was the spoiler, and he did well to push it over the line.
Well, probably one of the few players who could actually make up the ground to spoil Dennis Armfield. At least he had a commitment there to the defensive act, to getting there, to making sure there wasn't an easy little chip over the top.
Big Matty Cruiser copping some friendly fire there.
Levi's knee going into his side.
So the Blues get it out.
Again, they look up and don't really like what they see.
Rowe goes wide. And mark taken out there by big Levi Casbolt. Casbolt. It's a thumping kick, except when the goals are in front of him. And Walker goes up and spoils beautifully over the line, out of bounds throw in.
That's a good point, Ed, because when the goals are there, we know he's not good, but you try and make him into a ruckman. You know, because he marks the ball so well. If you played him behind play, he seems to cover the ground. And in play kicks, he seems to do that okay too.
Phillips gets the tap, but it was roved nonchalantly by Nunes. Revolt, the handball. Akers, who's been busy today, but he was pretty much caught on that occasion. Carlton fans are screaming for the free kick.
Well, the umpire's deemed he got a little bit of fist on it.
Silvani, chip kick. Boakhurst has marked it. Spreads it out to Wiedering. Could run the whole way here, or he decides to go with the kick.
Got there.
Came off just. So the mark has been taken by Dennis Armfield.
Oh, he nearly went off his mark.
And Daisy Thomas gave him the lead.
When did they kick their last goal, Ed?
Their last goal was at the 13-minute mark of the second quarter, when Zach Tui put one through. Armfield kicked the one before that, rather. So it's been a long time between drinks, because we are now 17 minutes into the third quarter.
They'll nearly get a Bronx cheer, their next goal.
Nearly.
So Armfield comes in from right on 50. It's bending, it's not bending enough.
3-7. Ross takes the kick in.
And the problem is, if they don't start converting some of these opportunities, they'll see the margin start to edge up towards triple figures.
Ross goes wide to Dempster, who's hiding almost on the boundary line.
This has come from nowhere defensively, this result for the Blue Baggers, because they'd kept top 8 teams to 74 points apiece over the last 2 weeks in Hawthorn and St Kilda. So to see St Kilda doing what they're doing today says a lot about their offensive power too.
Thrown in once again. Hickey with Phillips. Tries to edge his opponent out and then just hammers it over the line again. Again, Phillips just trying to edge him away from the ball. Ross taps it to Hickey. Rover to Ruckman. Hickey now felled. Have to pick himself up and do the work again. Armitage third man up. Gresham blocked but managed to get it back to Armitage. Armo's away. Needs runners and has them now. Looks towards Weller, who looks up towards the half-forward line, and Billings. Jack goes over the top to Nunes. They're in the sunshine now. It's going to be okay because Rewald is there. He's in the perfect spot, 30 metres out, directly in front.
Jade Gresham, what a great handball off that half-back flank, where he was under pressure and he's found 4 players in the middle of the ground, in the corridor, with a look-away handball. That just broke them apart.
He's had a big day too, Troy.
Yeah.
20 disposals. Rewald, in his 217th game as captain, kicks the goal, and the Saints march on.
What you don't see in the build-up to that goal is the work that Nick Rewald has done prior to the ball getting there. He has run Sam Rowe ragged. He was sprinting back with the ball flight incoming. And you could just see Rowe never at any stage could go with him.
Losing ground.
He just works so hard up and back.
How good was the pass from Nunes?
Yep.
Under pressure. Their skills have been great today, the Saints.
Yeah, and conversely, the Blues' defensive skills have been horrible, Ed. That sort of helps when you've got a bit more time to get rid of it by hand or foot, doesn't it?
So 90 plays 25, 65-point margin. And again, Hickey has been dominant. So too Armitage at ground level, but the Blues get it back through Tui. There's a thumping kick, and he does, but it's 2-on-1. Casbolt's going to have to beat a few here. Did pretty well to bring it to front and square. Cripps just walks around and kicks their goal. The first since the 13-minute mark of the second quarter, and it's taken to the 21-minute mark of the third quarter to get the next goal for the Blues.
Not sure who the player was, but you see on replay, he slips over. It might have been Robertson that had a chance just there. He would have had a chance to close down Cripps, slips over, and then allows him to run into the open goal. A long time coming, that one. "19 possessions for Paddy Cripps, 5 clearances. One thing you know about him is he'll continue to work hard."
So back in the middle with Hickey and Cruiser. Hickey gets a right hand to it. Armitage runs into a brick wall. The ball spills free. Dunstan overruns it. Cruiser a little toe poke. Brings it out about 15-20 metres. Can Carlton start to string a couple of quick ones together? No, they can't, because an excellent smother is going to prevent that, and that was done by Jack Nunes, causing a throw-in on centre wing. Cruiser got a hand to it. Gibbs got a boot to it. Down towards half forward. Silvani trying to tap it to a man going past, but it's Dempster who gives it to Savage. Penetrating hand pass. Finds Montagna. Goes into the middle, and he's got Nunes.
Oh, they're out.
Over the top. Here's Jaron Geary. Needs a kind bounce, and he gets it now. Rewald is a target. Sun could be a problem. So too could White. And it's White who repels. Gives it to Simpson, who goes to Walker. Now they can start something up here, going in towards the middle. An opportunity there for Wright. Cripps outside 50. Kick partly smothered. Belted by Robertson. Geary again. Untidy passage of play. Simpson tries to get it out. He does to Cripps. They're backpedaling at the moment. They can come wide to Docherty if they want to. It's a scrubber of a kick. They go even wider towards Armfield. He's in trouble. Gets it off to Tui. Now he can kick a goal from here. 50 metres out. He heads for home, and he has. Tui gets his second, and the Blues then make that his third. The Blues get their fifth. Zach Tui, the leading goal kicker for Carlton. Who would have thought when he came into this game with 3 goals for the year?
3 for the year, now 3 for the game, Sandy.
Yep.
Well, it was labour intensive, wasn't it? But they just got the ball. Even the Saints missed a few handballs that they should have made coming through the corridor, which would have broke the lines. But this is what the Blues have got to do. They've just got to keep working at the game. They've built up some credits this year, and especially the last month, as Kingy said, defensively they've built up a lot. It's failed today, and it's disappointing. But just see the game out. You'd hope that they'd probably win the last quarter. That would be the target they'd be giving each other to finish this game off.
See the 2 players at the top of the ranking points, both playing half-back for the Blues because they're seeing a lot of the footy.
Tui's kicked a goal in each quarter. And the last time they kicked 2 in a row, he kicked the second of it, and it's the same here. They've kicked 2 in a row now, Cripps and Tui, to get the margin back to 53 points. So Brendan Bolton would just want to see them really play this game out.
Oh, they're all gone down.
Umpire went down in sympathy.
Yeah.
He paid the free kick to the Saints. They may as well let it go. Good play there by Tui. Used his body well. Kicks it out wide.
Oh.
Daisy Thomas just let it go for his team and ended up getting it. Simpson, who's been so busy and always goes hard. Thomas now gets the handball working.
Another smother.
This has been one of the best smothering performances by a team, particularly one who's dominating, that I've seen for a long, long time. They've been wonderful today, this smother, St Kilda.
Oh, look at the speed.
Just beaten for speed on that occasion. Oh, look at this. Silvani just chops off Jack Stevens. Good play by Silvani. Nice poise. Gets his kick away and hits the target. That was wonderful football. Something for the Carlton faithful. Thomas gets it going. Cripps now. Can Carlton do something with this kick? It falls short. White went hard. Wright did very well on that occasion. Now they're out the Blues. Graham, handballs over the top. Got him. On court, magnificent tackle. Savage tackle. Wonderful play. And the Saints save the day once again.
Gee, they'd love to switch it. They've got a man out on the opposite wing, but it's the in-between kick that they haven't got.
Just had to change the angles, didn't he? Had to come inside or left or right instead of running in a straight line.
Still out there, Nunes, however, as well. He's going to change tack.
Well,
he's going to need a 70-metre ball, but he's got a chance to run here, and he's going to make the distance.
It's a great kick.
And that is sensational now. Well, what have they got to offer? They took right. That's not going to work. So maybe the door will open for Curnow. Pushes wide. Can they get another one? Cruiser, an opportunist. Takes the mark, outside 50.
Got Casbolt pushed forward. Has no opponent at the moment.
Phillips has gone down to the square. That's where he heads. Phillips is the target. Thump towards the boundary line. Good tackle by Cripps on Billings. Now Cripps an opportunity again, but he's claimed. Not before he gets the hand pass to Armfield. A high ball going across the face of goal and eventually chopped off by Sammy Gilbert. So Carlton just lifting in the last few minutes of this term. Gilbert to the outer side. Cruiser in the pack. Stephen down in front, but the boundary line beats them all.
4 possessions to Matty Cruiser. He needs to have a big game, bigger games than that for the talent that he's got. I know he's been hurt a couple of times today.
Phillips trying to edge Hickey out of the way. Leg was Jack Nunes. Advantage is going to be paid here. So the Saints hugging the boundary line can spear it up towards the wing. They do that and the skipper is there. Probably time for another one. Just over a minute remaining, but he's going to give a little bit of ground here and go backwards to Seb Ross, who may go all the way back to Fisher or go in towards the middle. It's the latter and finds his mark in Nunes. Now Hickey. Montagna. Backwards once more. Ross. Ross and Dunstan have become the premier midfielders in the last half of the season. They've been absolutely sensational. We know how good Armitage has been. And Stephen. Robertson is calling for it. 50 metres laterally. It's not going to come his way. It goes to Nunes. Croppy hand pass, put his team under pressure, but equal to the task. It was Minchington just came away. Now goes again, and he has to because Gibbs was first to it and picked it up. Here's Simpson, who's tried his heart out. Short in towards the middle. Boakhurst. Maybe time for Carlton. In towards Cripps and Fisher. There was holding on. There was holding, and it'll come back, and Cripps will get the opportunity. A kick after the siren for Carlton's 6th goal.
I thought St Kilda were about 5 points up in the last minute of the game, the way that they held the ball up then. But I understand at certain stages when you might try and win the game, 1 goal up or something like that, but amazing when you're this margin and you hold the ball for probably 2 minutes and go nowhere.
And even if he does kick the goal, they won't win the quarter. It's been a 4-goal blast by St Kilda, and at the moment 2 to Carlton. Cripps for his 2nd goal of the day, 2nd goal of the quarter, and he's got it. Patrick Cripps has 2. Carlton have their 6th, but St Kilda have been firing like a belt-fed mortar for the bulk of the afternoon, and they lead 14-6-90 to Carlton 6-7-43, a margin of 47 points. Well, in recent years they've been mighty clashes, but one wonders about this one this afternoon with the season that Fremantle is having. The Derby or the Derby, whichever side of the state you're from, that is coming up on Channel 504. Fremantle and the West Coast Eagles. Whilst here at the MCG, St Kilda in control. Took control early, leading by 3 goals at quarter time, and since then they've just continued to stretch that lead, winning at every term, 14-6-90 to 6-7-43. An excellent performance by Alan Richardson and his team. Let's hear more about the Saints' day to day, particularly their pressure as we go down to David King. Kingy?
Well, that's the one thing that Alan Richardson has demanded from his team, and that's pressure at all times. Deny the opposition any sort of fluency with their ball movement, and they've been first class today. We've seen 9 smothers for the quarter. We've seen an inability for Carlton to move the ball, particularly out of the defensive half, and when they have got through, it's been tackles like that, efforts like that, from the Saints back 6 and the Saints midfielders that have put Carlton to the sword. They've forced them to play a game they don't really want to engage in, a down the line, boring, structured game of football with no real flair, no real dare, no real dash. 100% opposite to what the Saints have been able to do on the way back, Jason. I just wonder where to for Carlton right here, right now. What can they do in this last quarter to get themselves going, at least for the last 3 to 4 weeks of football?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. We expected a better effort in the 3rd term after a deplorable first half, and they did kick 3 late goals, which I guess was something, but it's been very little from the Blues. I think he'd be pretty disappointed, Brendan Bolton, with what he's seen today. Stephen Silvani in the coach's box there. Just like to see a little bit more from some of the youngsters coming through.
Well, they kicked the last 3 goals of the term, Carlton, so hopefully something for them to give their fans some hope. Buckley off the half-back flank, does it beautifully, and then a big torpedo into the forward 50, but it is marked by Robertson.
Well, he's gone into the back 6, Dylan Buckley, after playing forward, and has been used forward a bit this season.
So Robertson kicks it out to Hickey. He's had a great day. Takes Cruiser under the ball, then runs to the back. Cruiser fought back well. Stymied the kick somewhat. Casbolt marks, looks up, nothing on in front of him.
No, he cannot kick this ball forward. He's just got to chip down the line across it, because there was 5-2 inside 50 then.
So Gibbs gets the handball across to Doherty, who goes long. Daisy Thomas flies from behind, trying to fly, couldn't get off the ground. The defence did well. The screen went up and Fisher was able to take the mark. So Fisher brings the ball out. And up goes Bruce and takes the mark. They've got some...
That's too easy.
Nice hands, haven't they? Well, they're just running to the spot, aren't they?
Yeah, that is just too easy, because that's a long... Yeah, not a long, about a 40-metre kick from defence. To be hanging in the air and be able to mark it without any contest at all, that's bad defence by Carlton.
Rewald at the back, ducked his head, loses the footy, but makes amends with a good tackle. Now Armitage, the opportunist, gives it to Akers. He in turn finds Nunes, goes down towards the 50. Membry leads the charge. He gets an unkind bounce. Rower's there with him. Well done, Membry, provides the shepherd. Akers will get another opportunity. He does. Centering ball, he's spotted someone on the other side of the ground, but Carlton have the numbers. Cruiser has the footy. He goes to Daisy Thomas, who marks just on the defensive side of centre. Again, with nothing in front of him. Needs some runners, finds Curnow going past. Curnow goes up towards Big Levi. He marks a long way from home. Just in front of Fisher in his 226th game for the Saints. And again, he has to come laterally, and again, it's to Bryce Gibbs. Gibbs goes back into the middle and finds Simpson. You could see at that three-quarter time vision, he was really frustrated. He's had a good day. He's tried his heart out, Cade Simpson. Finds Doherty. Goes up towards half-forward. Walker. Not a memorable day for him as far as the game itself is concerned. Weller.
Great running.
Now here they go. Nick, you're going to have to run. He's 50 from home. He's relying on the bounce and his accuracy, and I'm afraid it's the latter that lets him down, one behind.
I'll tell you what, when Cade Simpson got the ball in the middle of the ground, I was just going to congratulate Rewald for how he manned the mark on his left side so he couldn't play on. Then when it happened, he did kick the ball. He's just run forward. Brilliant. Gee, that's great play from the captain.
So Daisy Thomas kicks the ball out wide. Curnow has it. To the wing position, another one-on-one. Forced to Silvani. Good touch. White. Cripps. Gets the handball working. Simpson. Doherty can run in and have a ping here. Comes onto the right boot. Oh, the handball missed Buckley. Dives in on top. Will get the ball up. So fought back well. But...
well, that's their day right there, isn't it?
Yeah. Missed everything in the end. Cruiser goes up, grabs the ball, does it well. Curnow down to Buckley, who's been busy in this opening of the last quarter. Back to Simpson. 28th disposal coming up. Simpson, long kick, hoping for a mark. Cruiser's down there, tries to bring the ball to ground. Here's Walker. Everyone on the ground wants him to get a kick. Curnow's high up and under. He might get one yet, Walker. It falls to the ground. Cripps goes in on top of it. Kicks it out. Saints get the bounce. Good play. It comes out the revolt, and they're going to be able to relieve yet again.
And it's the old firm that come away for St Kilda. Oh. Here's Weller now. Rewalt leading the old firm charge, along with Joey Montagna. Ross has been excellent. Goes in towards Minchington. Couldn't take it quite on the half volley. Still going. Gets through the pack. Tries to give it to Hickey, who ducked his head out the back and gave it to Dylan Robertson. Robertson, great spotting. Boy, that is good. He found Gilbert over there in the sunshine. He gives it to Akers. Akers goes into the pocket. That is a bit of a rabble as far as Carlton is concerned, because Membry is going to go back and have a shot 30 out.
Well, that was embarrassing. There were 3 St Kilda players running inside 50 to share that one.
Akers well named.
Yeah, had hectares.
Acres of room.
So Membry has 3. Kicked 1 in the first, 2 in the second. And a chance now to become the leading scorer on the ground. Here's the drop punt on its way, and he misses to the right, one behind. 14-8 to 6-7. 5.5 gone. Final turn.
So the Blues from fullback Tui. He runs around, he gets himself into a big mess. Just got away with it in the end. Walker goes up, couldn't quite hold the mark. Roving was Cruiser. Geary now for the Saints. Lee Montagna has been wonderful, particularly when the game was there to be won early on in the match. He set it up for St Kilda. Kicks long inside 50. Oh, Hickey has had a day out today. Kicks it long to the hot spot. Here they go. They're queuing up, the Saints. Queuing up to take the mark, and in doing so, Membry can go back and kick goal number 4. He's kicked 3 goals too. And he almost deserves a 5-goal bag today. He's played so well. Bruce was in the spot as well. Beautiful kick from Hickey.
I think that man might be the most improved AFL players in the competition this year.
He's been a consistent goal kicker, kicking his 3s and 4s.
I'm talking about
the
Tom
odd 5. Sorry.
I'm talking about Tom Hickey. He's had a brilliant year.
Well, you could box them both up, couldn't you?
Yeah.
So Membry comes in and does what a good player does from that position. Puts it straight through the middle without any fuss whatsoever. He puts 4 goals next to his name, and St Kilda skip out to a 55-point lead. They want to win by 10 goals plus here.
Good set of hands over the top of his teammate in Josh Bruce, in front of his opponent. He's just a reliable goal kicker. Now that he's getting the opportunities, he never quite got the opportunities at Sydney. He plays every week at St Kilda. Has become a staple part of that forward line.
And there's the equation for the Saints. A couple of games behind North Melbourne, and I'm afraid their percentage considerably behind. That could certainly hurt them.
It's like an extra game, the percentage, unfortunately, for them.
But there's hope. So in the middle once again, Ross couldn't get it out, but he gave it to Hickey, and that was good. Now Mitchington eyes on the ball, sees it float over the top. He does the roving, and he does it beautifully, but he's smothered. Well done by Kerner, who eventually lost it to Mitchington. Gave it to Savage. Savage trying to bend it back. It's going in towards the pocket. Wiedering was there. Rewald is there. Well claimed by White, and eventually the ball over the boundary line. Big day for Nick Rewald. He's got hands on hips at the moment. He's exhausted. Here's Gresham with dash, trying to find Ross. Hickey threw it out. Buckley, well, that was like Gary Willits then. He rode him into the ground.
Not much bigger than Gary Willits, Buckley. And I'm sure his dad would have had a bet on him.
Hickey with the left hand. And again, another stoppage. Seb Ross at the bottom of the pack. Carlton have got Brisbane next week, then Melbourne and Essendon, so they'll try and salvage something from the season in the next 3 weeks. Maybe third time lucky to clear this stoppage.
They need a third man up here, Sandy. It's just waiting for it to hit the ball out wide from someone going.
And they're not going to get it. Gibbs worked hard, almost lost it to Armitage. Didn't travel any distance. Now an opportunity to the outer side. Saints again with the numbers. Beautifully done. In towards the pocket, but that is a stray, and it's going to be White who takes the mark on the last line of defence. Plays on to Simpson.
Dunstan's down there, grabbing that left shoulder. Looks like he's in real pain. He hasn't moved.
Well, that's tragic news for him and St Kilda if it's true. Mitchington gives it to Rewalt. Get out of the way, umpire, and he does. And Bruce takes the mark. Now Dunstan, they might have to just stop this.
They want to stop the game.
He's in real pain.
Well, it looks like
no.
he's
holding the shoulder. Yep.
What a shame. Dunstan again has had a pretty good day.
They say it is one of the most painful things trying to get that shoulder put back in. He just spins off on the tackle. That's how easily it can happen.
Well, Bruce is going to take the kick.
Let's hope it pops back in.
He gets the goal. Dunstan is up. Josh Bruce now has 3. And
look at that.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Consoled by his cap.
That is hot.
That's not pretty.
I don't think he needs the pat on the head just the mark. Just let him go. Oh, there it is. Yeah, just popped out the back there.
Just from spinning off in a tackle.
Yeah.
incredibly painful if you can't get them straight back in, Jace. It's going to be a bit of work now, unfortunately, in the medical room. That could take 5 to 10 minutes downstairs, and you just feel for him right now.
Even Alan Richardson was cringing at the vision then. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it?
Didn't Alan famously have a coach run into his shoulder?
Yes, he did. Yeah. Thursday night before the grand final in 1990. And popped his collarbone out again.
He did indeed. So Gresham got the ball out. Seb Ross. Now, there's easy pickings here now. So we're lining up for a full forward, Jason. There's a couple of easy ones coming. As the ball goes forward again, Bruce goes up. Gresham, fall of the ball over the top, puts it to the danger zone. Rowe was able to get there and find a bit of space, but he's turned it over because the pressure was really good on him and the kick was ordinary. And as a result of that, back goes Blake Acres and lines up from pretty much where the game has been dominated by St Kilda today, from the 45-degree marks, from the 50 metres on the 50-metre line, if you like. The perfect spot to be kicking. And in he comes and proves that thesis correct. His first for the day, and it's been a big day out for young Acres. Great game of footy by him and the Saints.
Well, sometimes these days can be the hardest ones for the forwards because they're so dominant further afield. All the midfielders are running into holes in the attacking 50, and you keep leading as a forward, but because the players are under no pressure to deliver, they tend to run and carry, have the handball option, short pass option, and St Kilda have just run free for most of the day, and we've seen so many of the running players, the midfielders, just popping into space inside the attacking 50, taking a mark and kicking a goal.
11 goal kickers.
Yeah. Sorry, we saw Melbourne yesterday really just light it up against the back-to-back-to-back Hawthorn Football Club and make a statement that this club is on the move. You feel like St Kilda are not too far off that mark themselves, and days like today really help.
Oh, the belief, yeah, Kingy. And the other thing I think with St Kilda, when they are manic in that pressure, they can beat anybody, and we've shown it. But when they drop it off, they can get scored against. You know, Carlton's had 3 goal kickers today. That's just not good enough to spread the load. But, yeah, you're right. It's a belief in how you're going about it.
Nunes on half-back will play the switch. Mind you, Carlton's not quite Hawthorn at the moment.
No.
Roberton has had a pretty good day. He finds Stephen, who's been a little quieter than we know Jack can be.
He had Curnow early, and then he's had Kerridge in the second half, and that's made life difficult for him.
Yeah. Fisher goes to the outer side. There's a good grab taken by Rowe. Got the ride and completed the mark. Now Tui goes short. It's okay. Finds Doherty. Can they finish with a flurry here? Here's Bryce Gibbs. 40 out, gets the goal. Gibbs gets his first in game number 206, and it's his 18th goal for the season, 7th today. But they're still down by 10 goals, 1.
It's a good mark from Sam Rowe, isn't it? Sometimes as a defender, if you've got good hands, you can back yourself because you get the run and jump at the pack that's formed in front of you. Timed it beautifully. That created the quick ball going forward. Good finish from Bryce Gibbs. ...22 possessions for that man. You wouldn't say being one of his better days.
No. The Saints midfielders certainly held the ascendancy today. So back in the centre of the ground, the Saints want to win by 10 goals plus. Umpires picked out a free kick, going to Hickey.
I think he pointed the wrong way. He said Carlton, but pointed the wrong way.
I was incredulous. Anyway, Phillips gets it. Kicks it high up into the forward 50. Casbolt under the pack. Cruiser over the top of it. Cruiser crashes through. Again, it's picked up by Gresham.
Oh, that was great play.
Akers again crashing through, gets the handball. Mav Weller, can he get his hands on it? No, he couldn't. Savage was away to an open goal if he could have. Not on that occasion. Tui looks out and sees Cripps.
There's a few players rolling the dice at the moment.
Yeah, they're all pushing forward, aren't they? Bryce Gibbs over the top to Cruiser. And Big Cruz will go back and have a shot from 45 metres out.
Good Dale Thomas in the pocket if he wants him, but he goes back to have the shot. So there's players playing ahead of the footy and just sweating on the turnover.
Andrew Walker coming from the field at the moment. Let's hope he can get back onto the ground for a final run in his celebrated career. In the meantime, Cruiser. Matty Cruiser from 48 metres out, wobbles the kick, won't make the distance. And it's through 4 behind.
So back into play with Montagna. Rewalt's the target, rewalt's the flyer. Roberton does the roving work, gives it to Ross. Another one quickly away towards Nunes. They're flying down to the half-forward line. Wright is there, but it's going to be chopped off. Well done by Buckley, who gives it to Simpson. Kicks a little astray, but Doherty's got time to recover. Head to the outer side, and Plowman. He comes inboard. And mark's going to be dropped, and that could be very, very costly. Membry goes again. Thank you very much, says Tim Membry. I've got 5.
Not the first time he's kicked 5 this year, Tim Membry. He is just chalking them up. It came from a turnover. That's a mark you've just got to take. Nick Graham, unfortunately, hasn't had a great day. Hasn't found a lot of the ball. Confidence a little short. But that's you just can't drop marks like that. You're going to get punished.
So one of the few goals not from an inside 50 mark, which Tony Shaw's been talking about all day. And the Saints at a 66-point lead now. So Cruiser up against Bruce in the ruck. Cripps tap. As a result of that, gets it down to Gibbs, to Buckley, who's tried his heart out in this last quarter, try and get things going.
He's got to worry about his decision-making process, though, Dylan Buckley. He doesn't kick the ball well, and his speed he's got, but he just over-exaggerates it at times, I think.
Revolt, full-chested, had to beat 3. The number's 1. Simpson out wide to Rowe. Rowe's chip kick up towards Bokus, but just intercepted beautifully. Can this bloke play? Billings. He's had a great day today, Jack Billings.
I'm a Gresham fan. I just think that his use of the ball in the contest has been incredible sometimes today.
Well, as you said, Tony, he's set a few goals up today just by his pure brilliance in finding the right execution to maybe a 50-50 contest, but because he's so good, he's been able to hit the mark and get...
No.
Didn't get onto it. Here go the Saints again. Geary inside. Out it comes now. Mav Weller kicked the first of the day. Can he kick one of the latter ones? No.
Yeah, too much time.
And before, hit the behind post.
Gee, the opposite handballs we see Luke Dunstan with the shoulder in a sling. The left-hand hand pass from Dennis Harmfield was not good.
Well, the good news is the shoulder's in.
Looks better without that big bone just sticking out, trying to break through the skin.
Cruiser got a hand to it. Bokhurst under pressure. Roberton has been good.
Gee, it's all a bit pedestrian now.
It is very, very pedestrian. I think you've been extremely generous, Jason.
You'd probably declare, wouldn't you, if it was cricket?
I wouldn't advise the Australian team to declare at the moment.
Can't bat long enough.
They don't have to.
No, they don't. Here's Nunes. They're all out. But the youngsters like Nunes, Ross, Gresham, Akers, all positive signs for St Kilda. Here's Jack Stephen. Over the top he goes towards Geary. Now Weller picks up another disposal. Weller goes inside 50. They're having a little bit of a how do you do with Kerridge behind the play. Tui tries to get through heavy traffic. Silvani does. Gets a hurried kick to where the traffic is. Get up! They've ignored it, and the ball has dribbled over the line, and the fight goes on. I reckon Jaron Geary's at the bottom of the pack.
Yep. But I can understand Dale Thomas, because Kerridge was 1 against 2. He needed a chop out. He was underneath 2 blokes. Dale Thomas went in to pull them off. Had to do that. Had to support his teammate.
Cruiser just pokes it down in front. Cripps takes it from Thomas. Over the top to Cruiser. Cruiser goes further afield now, looking for Armfield. He runs into Fisher.
Some of the handball.
Oh, Matty Cruiser, that's lazy for a senior player. You've got to hit the target with no pressure. Put your teammate under the pressure he shouldn't have.
So the last 5 minutes, the game has been basically won since half-time, before half-time. 37,797 here today. And Andrew Walker will get his swan song on the MCG after a wonderful career. Cruiser gets the tap. Cripps knocks it forward again. The Saints dive in on top of it, will have a ball up.
Gee, that was good play by Tom Hickey. He lost the tap, as you called it, Ed. But the follow-up, he just caused this spillage to get another contest.
At the full, free kick to the Saints. So Graham just trying to hack the ball out. No space, and again, St Kilda's tackling and their wonderful smothering today has been a highlight. Big fly from Billings. Got his own ball. There's Tony Shaw's favourite player, Gresham. Good play by Gibbs. Gets it out. Tui with a bit of dash. Handball's behind his teammate, but Buckley's good enough to get the ball out wider still. The run comes from White. Just gets his kick away, but as a result of that, it goes over the line out of bounds in front of two despairing forwards screaming for the ball.
Good pressure by Nathan Wright.
There's a long chase, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He did do well.
So a throw in. 4 minutes remaining. Cruiser. Flick over the back. Curnow lurks. Tui. A goal kicker today, Zach Tui. Not on this occasion, though. Weller should be able to clear. Players have got to make some space for him. An attempt against Simpson failed. That was by Geary. Simpson, possession number 38. He's tried his heart out. Casbolt swings around now and goes long, but he pulls it into the pocket.
They want Walker.
No mark. Yeah. Cripps will kick a goal. No, he finds the woodwork. And Andrew Walker now has 3 minutes and 20 seconds to leave us with perhaps a memorable grab. He's taken plenty in his time, but I'm afraid today has not been his day.
Put him in the square and just bomb it in.
Yeah, just 8 disposals.
And the Saints players should play their part, I reckon, Ed.
Yeah.
Bruce a target. Oh, copped a knee in the back. Stephen Armfield right in there late. And a stoppage just forward of the centre. Here comes Hickey and Cruiser. Cripps, Walker lurking as well. Third man up, but Walker takes it over the line. Armfield off for a spell. Daisy Thomas back on. Gresham also set for a final run. Armitage at the back. Curnow picks it up now. Claimed by Wright, not before he got it to Simpson, who got it to Doherty, who got it to Cripps, who tried to step out of Bruce's area. Doherty again. Short to the outer side. That's going to be okay. And the mark is taken there by Graham. Into the pocket. Oh, may have to go again. A cry of ball goes up. The umpire will have none of it. We've got a stoppage in the right forward pocket.
Well, it's a sad time, isn't it, for Andrew Walker, in that in one time it's happy, he knows it's the body's gone and probably not working for him, but he won't miss those the next day after a game where he's that sore that he probably can't get off the couch after time to play with the kids.
Just hope he gets a kick, sure. He only had the one, and that was a little shank that missed his teammates.
It's ever good handballs.
Yeah.
So Jason just trying to build him up.
No, I'd like him to finish with a goal. It'd be fitting because he's been a terrific player for them over 13 seasons.
2 minutes to go, and Nick Revold has had another good day at the MCG office. Billings has killed him.
Probably won't miss also having to have low-fat muffins, snakes and Gatorade straight after a game.
Ross, who seems to have really found himself as a player, Ross, doesn't he? Believes he should be out there amongst the best.
One of the key men there now in that midfield.
Yeah, he's a beauty. Doherty. Buckley, rather. I'm looking for Walker. Curnow.
There he
is. Oh. Come on, have a kick.
Go all the way.
Oh, handball.
Oh, no.
An intercept handball. And a turnover. And the Saints will line up at goal.
You Mosley, Jace.
So another shot at goal coming up for St Kilda.
Problem was he had nothing to kick to when he looked up.
There was nothing there. Well, Bruce has been another very, very good player for the Saints today. He's kicked 3 goals, 1. And again, having a shot from better than 45 degrees and 45 metres out. So Josh Bruce comes in to make the margin 71 points. He does all that.
So he's got 5. Memory's got 5. Bruce has got 4. They've been the 2 leading goal scorers on the ground.
Well, let's have a look. And this has happened most of the time, not just about Andrew Walker. At Carlton, every time that they looked up the field, you could see a wall of white. The St Kilda players, the defensive players, and that's caused so many turnovers coming just outside, and easy kicks back inside 50. And yet, just on the bench.
And yet another setup by Lee Montagna, who's just been magnificent today.
Phillips beaten.
Good to see Alan Richardson down chatting to Luke Dunstan about the shoulder injury.
Wright's kick partly smothered. Silvani through. Couldn't get the footy over. Geary, well, he's pushed it out, but he's given it straight to Daisy. Smothered. Boakhurst, an opportunity. Kick by Boakhurst will go to the square with it marked on the line. It is no score going the way of Carlton with just 17 seconds remaining. Rewalt will pick up another possession. Good day for Nick. 20 disposals. Going short. Wright's at the back, takes the hand pass now from Kerridge, gives it to Walker, who gets one of the last kicks. He gets the last kick of the day and his career. He's helped up by Sammy Gilbert. And after 202 games, it's over for Andrew Walker. But not for the Saints. They keep marching in.
Alan Richardson will be pretty happy with today's performance. It was a comprehensive win. Dominated the entire game. They led by 19 points at quarter time, 42 points at half-time, 53 at three-quarter, and 71 points. They won every quarter and were in front from start to finish from the first goal of the game that went to Mav Weller. Let's go down to David King.
Yeah, down here with Tim Memory. Tim, you've kicked 5 again, 4th time this year. Fantastic year it's been for you, almost 40 goals for the season now. You must be really loving your time at the Saints.
Yeah, look, I definitely am. I think being able to work in the forward line with Rui and Brucey and Paddy as well, I think we've just been able to build a bit of continuity with our footy, and we're starting to get the results.
Saints game's built on pressure. It was there again today.
Yeah, that's right. That's our one wood, so we want to aim to bring that each week, and to be able to do that again, it's a real credit for the boys.
Ball movement was fantastic today. The midfielders gave you plenty of supply.
Yeah, that's right. We probably knew the Stuvie, Jack Stevens, was going to get tagged, so we tried to look to help him out, and other guys got on the end of it.
A month ago, have you caught up as a group and said, look, let's finish this year really strongly, because obviously we missed finals, but there's been some significant gains this year?
Yeah, definitely. We don't want to just, go to the start next year now, but we want to keep looking forward at the end of the year, really finish off strongly and build for the end of the season.
Good on you, mate. Well done today.
Cheers.
A great performance by St Kilda today. 5 goals to Tim Embry, 4 to Josh Bruce, and the players all going over to pay tribute to Andrew Walker, who finishes up his career. And great camaraderie out there between all the players.
It's been a sobering time, hasn't it, Jason, for Carlton since that mini rush when they strung 4 together until round 12 came. Since then, it's been a battle.
And that happens with a young developing side. You can see Andrew Walker feeling pretty emotional. I think Kingy was going to try and get him for a chat, but he may not feel up for that, because it's
all hit him at once.
The realisation comes to you that it's over, and it's been a fantastic journey. As we mentioned, 13 seasons with the one club. A lot to be proud of for that man.
first Indigenous player for the Blues to play over 200. So that's a great thing. It's probably mightn't be beaten, I wouldn't think. It could down the track, but yeah, look, the times that you've talked to him, he's just a fantastic person, and that's the respect that he's got within the group. It's an emotional time.
Pick 2 in 2003's national draft. Made his debut against the West Coast Eagles in round 5, 2004. He was a Rising Star nominee in his first season. In 2011, he was Carlton's leading goal kicker. Named a life member of the famous Carlton Football Club. 2 years later, he was second in the club's best and fairest and won the Spirit of Carlton Award. The two teams line up. Quite appropriate, a guard of honour.
Mark Murphy and the other Carlton players that aren't playing are there as well.
I love this in our game. It's a great part of our game.
And a wonderful moment for Andrew Walker, who finishes with 202 games of football. He kicked 84 goals along the way. He took marks, he kicked spectacular goals, and through a dark period for Carlton, he was a shining light. And today, he leaves the MCG a hero to not only his team and his family, but to Indigenous footballers who he's led the way for. A wonderful man, great family man as well. We wish Andrew Walker the best in his retirement.
Good to see the opposition recognising the milestone in the moment.
They did. St Kilda forming the guard of honour and then going over and thanking their fans behind the goals after thumping Carlton by 71 points. It will certainly help their percentage, but they need all the help they can get as far as percentage is concerned.
They need a bit of luck. They need North Melbourne to basically lose 2 games. There's Andrew Walker coming into the rooms for the final time, just holding it together. Unfortunately, won't be singing the song. It's a sombre enough moment walking into a losing rooms. And for Andrew Walker, he walks into the showers for the last time. Tony Shaw and Jason Dunstall, the one downside for the Saints was that man.
Yep.
And it's Luke Dunstan coming off after dislocating his shoulder. And that was really, really bad news when the game was all done too. An innocuous tackle, nothing much in it. And
yeah, he was the one doing the tackling and the arm just slid off the top of the opponent. Wasn't having a big day at the time, just the 12 possessions for Lukey Dunstan, but you just don't like seeing that. We don't like seeing injuries to any players.
No, it could have been worse, though, because they might have qualified for finals and he might have missed a fair part of it. You know, at least you know that they're not playing finals. And
still mathematically in the equation, Shorey.
Oh, OK, Jace.
Big test next week, of course, Sydney.
At Etihad Stadium.
Yeah, at Etihad. It'll be interesting, but as Sam Fisher goes in to join the boys, back in the side this week, they'll enjoy singing the song for the 10th time this year. Day for the Saints here at the MCG this afternoon. Tim Membry, sensational up forward. Some of the younger players, Billings and Nunes, exciting futures ahead of them. Tim Membry, very good as well. Alan Richardson demands a team effort, and that's exactly what it was. I think it was 11 goal kickers, individual goal kickers for the day, in a scoreline that embarrasses Carlton somewhat. 19-8, 122, 7-9, 51. They failed to win a quarter during the day, and they've won only 23 quarters for the season. So a bleak year for Brendan Bolton in his first year at the helm, but certainly plenty of hope, gentlemen, as far as Carlton is concerned, particularly when you look at some of the marking power and the way they played today, Jason, inside 50.
I thought they were super impressive, St Kilda. It might have only been a 71-point margin. It felt like 100 points. But to have 54 inside 50s and mark it 27 times, every second time they went forward, they took a mark inside their attacking 50. And they didn't bomb the ball away at all. They continued to hit targets. They looked for the little lead-up kicks. It's very rare that they actually kicked the ball deep inside 50. They just found little pockets of space, continually honoured the leads, and it reaped the rewards because they kicked so many goals from those marks, Shorey.
Oh, they were sensational, weren't they? A lack of pressure from the Carlton midfield. You know, they also, out of the 27 marks inside 50, they kicked 16 goals from marks inside 50. That is an enormous return when you've kicked 19 goals as a team. They were just totally dominant.
Well, Jason, you know all about marking inside 50. Shorey, you know all about pressure acts, and that was the other thing that was so key today. Not only was it pretty football, but St Kilda were magnificent in the pressure acts that matter, particularly the smothering, the tackling, and the smothering was just first class.
It was, and the one thing about Alan Richardson, he is really into those pressure acts, and that was a great chase down myself. You can see Kate Simpson's going, where do I kick the ball, boys? I've got no idea because you're not giving me anything, but they played well behind the ball too, St Kilda. They really worked well in team defence. I think they had 9 smothers in that one quarter, Ed, so did fantastic work.
Jack Nunes was sensational today, 32 disposals. He is one of the rising young stars of the Saints outfit, and he's with our own David King. Kingy?
Down here with Jack Nunes. Jack, thanks for your time.
That's what I said.
It was an amazing win, that. I mean, it's come from nowhere off the back of last week's poor performance. You probably wanted to get straight back on the horse. That was powerful today.
Yeah, let ourselves down last week, so it was good to really bounce back and played pretty strong footy, I guess. I thought we were strong in the contest and we were really strong in our running, and from defence to the forward line, guys on the forward line stepping up. Joshy Bruce and Tim Embry both had bags of goals, so I think everyone played their role and got the result.
Have you noticed the change this year? I mean, there's been a development year again. You'll miss finals, but there's been a lot to like about the changes over the last 6 to 8 weeks in particular.
Yeah, we've been pretty strong over that period. I think it's just a combination of everyone playing their role and stepping up. You know, we used to rely on Rui and Gears and Joey, Sean Dempster, but now I think everyone's playing their role. A lot of young guys are stepping up, and we're starting to really bond and mesh well.
What about yourself? You're coming up towards that 100-game mark. Do you feel like you belong at the level now and you're actually impacting games?
Yeah, I feel a lot more comfortable getting to that stage where you should. I think I've played around high 80 games, and I'm feeling really comfortable out there. I've worked on my fitness base, got a bit stronger, so definitely feel stronger out there and feel like I can lead the boys. And yeah,
we're enjoying it, mate. It's been great to watch. Well done.
Oh, thanks, King.
Well done, Kingy there. One of the things that really stands out for the St Kilda side is these young players now starting to feel like they're part of it, that they can really play. Seb Ross, boys, is one that really springs to mind for me, who has been in the midfield, at times maybe the 3rd or 4th or 5th midfielder, but now he's a powerhouse, and every time he gets the ball, there's no panic. He hits a target more times than he doesn't, and is hard at the ball. He's got everything.
Well, the one thing I like too is the left side, but you can see him chase out. Yeah, you're right, Ed. He's got time under pressure. He always knows what's around him. A couple of times, I don't know how quick Seb is, but the thing about him, he seems to know when he's going to be under pressure to release the ball. So, no, he's going to be a star of the future.
Actually, talking of those young guys, you've got to put Jade Gresham in that group as well. He's an excitement machine, this little man.
I think he's a sensational player, but I probably couldn't do him justice because sure he's got the bromance. I might let you wax lyrical.
Well, he's a South Morang boy. He comes from the Northern Knights, so he comes from our area. You wouldn't know where South Morang was anyway.
It's on the way to the airport.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, look, he's a talented player. He was under 18s. They were rapt to get him, matter of fact. The thing about him is, in the contest, some of his handball through pressure, you only have to do it 3 or 4 times to know that you've got a future with that sort of skill.
Well, Shorey, we're going to make your day because we're going to hear from the young man.
Oh, how good's that?
Yeah, down here with Jade Gresham. That was an amazing performance. I want to talk about you, though. I want to talk about the young fella just making his name in AFL football. You must be really just loving your time at the moment. Your second quarter today was outstanding.
Yeah, just absolutely loving playing at the moment. Played a bit of midfield today, which was good. But yeah, all the boys, they've been really good. Stilvey, Jack Stephen, Jack Nunes, played well today. So hopefully we can bring that into next week.
Who have you attached yourself to? Right, I mean, right back through the pre-season, you played 15 games this year. Who's showing you the way if you had to pick out one player?
I'll probably say Mav Weller, also Jack Stephen. They're very good players, professionals, and they're really good with us younger boys and helping us out and trying to improve us week in, week out.
Ball movement today was fantastic. The boys really lit it up, and there was plenty of ball there to be won in the midfield. You got involved, but it would have been a good day to be part of.
Yeah, it was. You know, it was pretty disappointing last week. You know, we didn't play our way, and you know, we made a focus this week. You know, just to get back on track, get our pressure up, and you know, just take the game on and just just have a bit of fun out there.
Starting to notice some 22s get around on the back of the young kids running around.
Oh yeah, the bit of the family's got it now. So it's good to see. But that's it.
Going well, mate. Keep it up. Finish off the year strong.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
Great stuff down in the rooms. The only downside today was the injury to Luke Dunstan. His 58th game of football. He's 21 years of age. He can really play this bloke. He's one of those silky midfielders. But as you saw there, number 7 going for the tackle, just was shrugged by Curnow, and as a result of that, the shoulder popped out, and instantaneously you saw him grabbing. You can see the bone, without being too graphic here, poking out the top. It took a long time. They had to get him off the ground, into the rooms, and have the painkillers to get it back in. Finally, he came back onto the bench with his arm in a sling, but it was a horrible situation for him. You know, extreme pain, and also you'd think that would be pretty much his season. Sometimes you can pop it back in and play, but whether you do, I suppose while there's still a chance to play the finals, you do so. But what do you think? Is it one of those ones where you might need a bit of a tightening operation, Joseph? It's a bit hard to tell from up here.
Yeah, and I don't know whether he's done that before or not. Sometimes players have looser sockets and they can pop in and out, but it was great to see Alan Richardson go down late in the game and just have a chat to him on the bench while the game was still going on. So he's a young player with plenty of football ahead of him. He'll get through it.
The experienced boys of St Kilda did a really good job today. I speak of Nick Rewalt and also Joey Montagna. Let's hear from Jay with Kingy.
Yeah, down here with Lee Monte. I reckon every time I do the Saints games, you absolutely fly. You blokes play some great football. Same again today.
Yeah, I was thinking that when you called me over. That I reckon every time you do a game, we seem to win. But our boys were terrific today. Good team effort. We had a top focus to really keep Carlton's score low, and to keep them to 51 points was a great effort.
You play a lot of footy, and you've seen a lot of players come and go. There's a young crop that are coming through at the moment that are pretty special. Yeah. Do you see anything today from many individuals that make you think, wow, he's got a big future?
Yeah, look, I love little Jade Gresham. I think he's got some tricks that's going to be a really good player. I know he's only small, but we see guys like Lockie Neal and other players in the comp that can be really good inside mids, and we've found one in him. I think Blake Akers continues to grow. He's got such room for improvement that he could be anything. And a few of the other boys, Tim Membry's still growing and guys like that. So it was a terrific team effort and good to see the young blokes lead the way.
When Alan first started, he said the Saints brand were built on pressure. I'll tell you what, we're seeing it more and more regularly throughout the season in 2016. The last 6 to 8 weeks have been pretty good, haven't they?
Yeah, it has. I mean, pressure's our go. When we do that, we know we're in the contest. What we need to work on is continue to grow our system, because if our pressure's not quite there, we need to be able to rely on our system. And I think the second half of the year it's gotten better defensively. We're structuring up better behind the ball, giving ourselves more of a chance. So we're just going to continue to grow as a team, but keep the pressure as the number one focus.
Yeah, those old pins hanging in.
We've got 3 games left in me, so I'm hanging in there, going all right.
Good on you, mate. Well done.
Yeah, 3 games and a little bit more on today's stats. What do you have? 31 disposals, 15 kicks at 93% accuracy, 16 handballs.
Pretty good.
He was sensational today, particularly when it was on early on. He was the bloke, Lee Montagna. Joey to his mates, who was just a dynamite player. And wonderful presentation here in the rooms after the game to Andrew Walker. Finishing up after 202 games of football. As Shorey mentioned, the first Indigenous player at the Carlton Football Club, and they've had some rippers going back, of course, to Sid Jackson at Carlton, who have just played wonderful football. But his marking, his goal kicking, his excitement as a player, and as you can see here, the dedication to his teammates, it's wonderful. And not a dry eye in the house down there at Carlton at the moment as this wonderful career finishes up.
I think there was a poignancy about Dylan Buckley making the presentation as well. So it's one of the younger players. Yeah. It's almost a handing over of the baton, isn't it? And, you've been terrific servant for the club, and now the young players are entrusted with taking it forward.
They've also presented him with a framed number 1 Guernsey too, which is a nice touch.
And the bloke who wore that number 1 Guernsey before him is standing at the back there, and Stephen Silvani, his wife and family with him. It's a amazing time. You get to the end of your career, and I asked Tony Shaw and Jason Dunstall this. You guys had celebrated careers, amazing careers. It's one of those things, isn't it? When it finishes abruptly. No matter how long you've been thinking about it, when it comes, the end comes quickly.
Well, I knew mine was coming probably halfway during the season. It was going to be the last one, but the last one didn't work out well. I ended on the bench in the final. We lost the game by 4 points, so it wasn't a great memory. But, yeah, I shed a few tears.
Perth, we remember that one?
Yeah, I shed a few tears. It's a family. It's your other family that you've had for a long period of time, 17 years that I had, and I think, 14 that Andrew's had. You will miss it. Hopefully he might be involved in coaching.
Yeah, well, his son there with a few tears, and Mark Lejuda say presenting him with the frame #1 jumper. Jason, you've seen it over the years. A lot of players, as Tony says, it's far more than a job, this game of football. It has so many emotions and so many struggles and so many highs as well for a young person coming to the game.
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily matter whether you've been a 15-year player or just a 5-year player. You've given it your all. You've absolutely put everything you could possibly put into it.
And you've dreamed since you're a little boy,
committed all your
isn't it?
effort, physically and psychologically, and there's a huge weight of loss almost when it comes to an end. And that's something they'll have to deal with.
We wish him well in the next phase of his life. It ends for him. It doesn't end for Carlton, and they've got to try and regroup.